GMS.
I'm not looking for someone to dry all my tears. No, I'm not looking for someone to scare away the fears. No, I know it's not gonna happen. Don't believe in happy forever after. No one should have to feel this torn. We're unable to speak
Gaming
with
Morning
voices.
Show.
Tell your friends, tell your mom, Gaming Morning Show is on.
Wait,
Austin, your mom is here?
No.
Why did I look over where Bob is?
Austin, your mom is here? Is she over there?
I sure hope not.
Is she in the box?
Whoa.
I haven't seen her in like 2 days.
Get out of here, Beelin. I just got the new marble tile installed and you'll mess up the grout. Besides, like our friend Oh Guitar Boy said,
Sorry, KK.
it's time for the clinically acclaimed gaming morning show. Or should I say, award-winning.
And we have a clip of the year, friends. It is the Lost City of D live.
Glad we won.
Woo! Burp, burp, burp.
Kiki Lowe is in search of something.
I need a D that works.
There's the D. Searching in the universe because the D is currently broken.
Gaming Morning Show won clip of the year.
Oh my gosh.
But don't you dare expect to put that Chris Emmy Memorial Clip of the Year trophy in this
I
box.
probably should have prepared something more special.
I'm getting the walls repainted soon. Now where to put the chandelier or the bearskin rug? Oh, and the piano, can't forget that.
Maybe there is somebody in the world that can help her. Maybe somebody who sings a song.
6 to 9 a.m. Pacific. If you wanna get specific, I couldn't imagine any other place to go than to start the day with the Gaming Morning Show.
Morning, gamer. Welcome in. It's Gaming Morning Show, and it is the Tuesday edition. We've moved on to March 29th, 2022. Thanks for being with us on Facebook Gaming, Twitch, YouTube, Twitter, and at gamingmorningshow.tv. We have a lot of fun planned for you today. Gaming Morning Show, morning gaming news coming up at 6:25 a.m. today. Birthdays this day in gaming history we will have coming up at 6:50 a.m. So if you have a birthday that you want us to celebrate, please let us know, because we would like to celebrate with this puppy and yourself as well. We are on those platforms, as well as doing another beta test today on Twitter Spaces. So if you haven't followed us already at WatchGMS, you can definitely find us on Twitter and keep tabs with everything that is Gaming Morning Show. Look, it's Maiko is on vacation. We should see Sports.Gaming in a little bit, and I'm gonna hang out with you for 3 hours this morning. We have a story coming up about a Kawasaki rideable robot goat. That's exactly what you expected to hear on a Tuesday, right? It's like, I wonder how my Tuesday's gonna go. Wonder what I'm gonna eat for breakfast.
What's for breakfast?
And then what am I gonna go out and do for work today? Maybe I have to run some errands. Oh, and I wonder how Kawasaki is coming with its rideable robot goat. It seems kind of bizarre. Downs is in chat already, 22 past 5 o'clock, and Scott Chick checks in at 24 past 5 o'clock. The whole pre-show crew has checked in, as Kate Zaid was here at 55 past 5 o'clock. It's good to see everyone. Thank you for being here.
First,
Kate Zaid has a whole bunch of stuff available in the old Etsy shop. You can follow Kate Zaid on Twitch, and Jeff Downs and Scott Chick also streaming. I bring up Kate Zaid specifically because is going to be streaming right after our show, around 9 a.m. Pacific time. So if you have a chance to check out Kate, we certainly would appreciate you stopping by and saying hello from GMS. Yeah, today is International Mermaid Day. There's a whole bunch of stuff going on. The days of the day include that, International Mermaid Day. It's National Lemon Chiffon Day, which, listen, anytime we have a chance for food-related programming, we're on board, because, well, it's food. Food's delicious. The only thing that probably gets me more excited is coffee. Niagara Falls Runs Dry Day. I remember this from last year. This is like a big story from time gone by. So this is, again, Niagara Falls Runs Dry Day. So check that out. We got that coming up. What else is going on? Today is World Piano Day, National Mom and Pop Business Day. It's also National Nevada Day and National Vietnam War Veterans Day. So those are among the days of the day. International Mermaid Day. If you would like to be a mermaid today, you can. If you're always a mermaid, well, this is the day for you. I just folded a mermaid tail. It's one of the coolest things that I discovered in dadhood was my daughter got these like mermaid tails when she was a lot younger. I mean, we probably had them for like 5 years at this point, but she had received like 6 of them. Maybe like 4. It felt like she had like 6 of them because she would have these people send mermaid tails that are like basically half sleeping bags. Like, how cool is that? You pull them up, they go like up to your waist, and then they look like a mermaid tail, but they were also nice and warm and snuggly. One was like hand knit. It was really high quality. So yeah, if you're into the mermaid today, you can. My favorite mermaid is not visible because it's behind my coffee cup, but the Starbucks mermaid, because that's how I get most of my coffee. Scott Chick says it's 18 years since McFly released their first hit single, 5 Colors in Her Hair. So old. I mean, we do have this day in gaming history where we're going to look at some of the things that came out this day in past years. But it's amazing how you look back at some of the things that have happened, 2 years ago, 3 years ago. We were even talking about, there's lots of surges happening again with the virus, with COVID. But we were talking about the Omicron surge. That was just like 2 months ago, just over 2 months ago in the Pacific Northwest of the U.S. where it started to get really bad. Because I was going to go to a hockey game. I was going to go to the Seattle Kraken game up in Seattle. And we decided not to go because there was this Omicron surge. And I was like, but that was like 6 months ago. I was on the phone with a friend. And I had to look it up and be like, no way. That was like mid-January when that happened. I think the game we were supposed to go to was like on the 17th. So yeah, even something like 18 years ago, Scott Chick, or 2 months ago is absolutely bizarre to me. Our question of the day has to do with PlayStation Plus Extra has launched. So if you've been raving about Game Pass, right? If Game Pass has been your thing for a while now, I can't really make an argument against Game Pass. It makes about a bajillion pounds of sense. $14.99 or whatever I was paying for the Game Pass Ultimate when I had to get it to play in Kate Zade's Halo Party and Dead by Daylight when we did the GMS Halloween event. It was like $14.99, and you have access to a whole bunch of games. We do GameFly in our household, and that's where you pay like $23 a month, and you get 2 cartridges, but you can get access to like any game that's out there. With Game Pass, like, there's sure a more limited library, but it's not significantly more limited. I mean, there's so many games in the sea of that thing. So this PlayStation Plus Extra we'll get to during the Gaming Morning Show Morning Gaming News. It's a new subscription from PlayStation. They basically created their Game Pass competitor. And you remember, like, a year ago, there was discussion about whether or not there would be a Game Pass competitor from PlayStation. It was like, nah, it's not going to happen. And now, lo and behold, it's here. Also, when we get to this day in gaming history, Elder Scrolls Online Ascending Tide is out today. So we're asking you, how do you feel about subscription-based gaming? How do you feel about subscriptions in general? This is the one thing that I think I was a little more skeptical of this whole time. And I think I'm kind of right. I just think it's still a better value for like the consumer. But I was sitting there looking at when cable was like, oh, cut the cord and get rid of cable. I was like, okay, well that's cool, but there's not everything that I want in like one place, right? Well, there still isn't, because if you love Netflix, right, then you're gonna go ahead and pay for Netflix, and the stuff that's on Netflix isn't gonna be available on any cable package. So like, it's an imperfect system. But I was like, I don't want to get rid of cable because there's enough stuff on here that I just kind of want to churn on, right? But eventually, all these subscription services are going to add up, and we're going to be back to paying like $60 a month for things. Now, password sharing, which is not a thing because we would never do that, chat. Never once would pay for something and then share your password with somebody. That'd be silly. But let's say hypothetically you decided to do that. Then maybe it would be worth it because, you could be borrowing someone else's subscription. Point being, we're up to the point now where I feel like we have way too many subscriptions that you get like a la carte, and it's becoming too hard to keep up with, right? And in fact, one of the things that I miss most about just having straight up cable, and I find it through the service called Pluto TV, which is like free. So there's apps and stuff. Like I have it on the Roku, but we also have a Samsung TV, and it's built into their thing as well. Is you can just turn on the television and something starts playing. That's the one thing I miss the most about having like subscription-based things. So anyway, question to you, chat. How do you feel about subscription-based gaming? Let us know in the chat. Papa Paz is here. So is Jack. Good morning to you both. Papa Paz, from what I read, the PlayStation Plus is nothing special yet. We'll give you details. There's like a variety of things that, like, there's different subscription, like, tiers that they're offering. So we'll have that coming up in the Gaming Morning Show, Morning Gaming News, which is coming your way next. Jack says, oh, they spilled the news early. PlayStation Plus double mega magnum. That's the cheap one. They got more adjectives later. That's true. So you get more value out of anything when you add more adjectives to it. Which, you know, listen, we're the place that named things like, you know, the so-and-so memorial whatever and whatnot. So we're very good at adding a whole bunch of words. For example, we still have the Superphonic Memorial Super Gig, a Shonsert starring Sports.Gaming. We still have that coming up at some point soon. So if there's a place that knows about naming and adding things with words only, we're good at that. Down says, I still think Game Pass will be better. Sony hasn't fully released details, but seems missing day one releases and limited to cloud-based backwards compatibility. Interesting. Papa, I bring back cable in a heartbeat, but too many subscription-based services. Well, and I guess, you know, to be fully transparent, like, I didn't dislike cable. Like, I didn't think I was getting ripped off for the cable package that I had. But, going back to subscriptions and all that stuff, when some of the internet TV started for, like, let's say you had an HBO subscription, and then you could put in your TV provider's credentials and watch your HBO on your computer, I was spoiled because I borrowed someone from my family's subscription. So I also was able to get away with paying for my own, like, lower tier cable package and then getting a whole bunch of my content from that family member. So I guess I was also not really doing full cable. Like I said, I think what I miss the most is just you turn it on and something starts playing. I think that's what I miss the most. Nope, would never do that. What? Yeah, right? Who, chat, if you've shared your password before, you're not, it's against the terms of service. Probably. Subscriptions give me access to more things than I would have paid for individually, and we can cancel anytime. I don't have cable, but I have subscriptions. And listen, the contracts and stuff, I worked in cell phones for a long time, and we were definitely one of the first purveyors of contracts. It's like, yeah, no, you have to just be with us for 2 years. That's it, though. It's just 2 years. So just sign this piece of paper, and then, you know, and honestly, the cancellation fees were, like, more reasonable than I think, like, cell phone companies got. They got blamed a lot more for their cancellation fees. But should they have been there in the first place? Absolutely not. Our opponent has someone who uses the Lookits convention like our co-host Lookits Michael. Rico just scored. The subscription thing, the value I like the most about it, though, is you can handpick the stuff that you want, right? And you don't have to pay for any glut. And for me, that wasn't a problem, but I totally can understand. It's like, I don't watch but 10 things, and I only want to pay for those 10 things. It's more economical. Yeah, that makes sense for me. Yeah. And when you say get paid, or you get access to more things than you would have paid individually, are you, like, targeting things that, like, you specifically enjoy more? They fully released details this morning. I can send you a link. Papa Pause, the one I read was still vague. This is going back to PlayStation Plus Extra. I will have details, like I said, coming up in the news. I can find anything for free online. I've been watching some YouTube videos that talk about kind of the history of streaming services. Not like, it's not like Netflix, but like Twitch, Facebook Gaming, YouTube, all that stuff. And there's all the talk about Justin TV, which was what Twitch started out as. And it is amazing to think back to how much stuff you could get away with watching for free on Justin.tv. It was definitely the unregulated days of streaming platforms, because I could have picked up, the Broncos game and thrown it on Justin.tv, and it at least would have existed for like a quarter. And even then, like, not a whole lot of people were, like, not a whole lot of sports leagues were cracking down on it, right? So you could find a whole bunch of stuff that you just never had to pay for. And it's funny because I don't know if you remember a couple months ago, Sean brought up the whole "you wouldn't steal a car," which was this mocking of an anti-piracy like pre-roll thing that played at movie theaters because they were trying to crack down on movie piracy. And the thing says something like, it's not you wouldn't steal a car, it was like you wouldn't record a car, or you wouldn't copy a car, or something like that. But the point was, like, we do this with movies without thinking anything of it, right? Like, we'll download an MP4 of a new release movie and be like, oh, I just because I want to watch the movie. And that whole piracy campaign was trying to show the impact, and I don't know how much this has been proven, so you can tell me if you know, but like how much it impacts the people working on the movie by having piracy. I don't know if that's true. I don't know if that's ever been proven. I'd believe it. If you told me that that's not the case, I'd believe you as well, because I'm not sure. But yeah, if you wanted to watch anything, you could back in the... It wasn't just Justin.tv, too. There was a whole bunch of websites. I want to say there was one like that. Sounded a lot like the grocery chain Aldi's. It was like Aldi.com or something like that. But I only had to use them every once in a while when I couldn't watch a Broncos game because of a like weird zip code phenomenon, because I lived in Oregon, but we paid for something that was like good for the Colorado region. It wouldn't let us watch it in Oregon sometimes. It was really bizarre. Papa Pause, my biggest issue is I live in Canada, so things are locked regionally. Is that true? Wow. So, like, there's certain shows that you can't watch because they're not authorized, if you will, for Canada? Wow. I mean, that makes sense, I guess. Everyone has their own laws, right? Well, and I remember, too, like, there used to be, and I don't know if Canada and the U.S. shared a different or same... I guess I can't share a different one. I don't know if Canada and the U.S. had the same, like, DVD region, but I do remember, like, you had to watch DVDs that were, like, zoned for your region, or else they wouldn't play in some of your DVD players. So I guess that's the same kind of concept. Hey, it's 6:25 on the West Coast. It's 9:25 out east. It is 2:25 for those watching GMS in the UK. Thanks for being here. I'm Hefty Goof. We should see Sports.Gaming later on in the show. Look, it's Mike goes on vacation in Florida. Coming up, we'll tell you a story about a Kawasaki rideable robot goat. If you were in the market for a robot that also can do your transportation and maybe eat a whole bunch of extra debris that's hanging out in your yard. You never know. Sometimes that's needed. So there's options. All right, it is now time for the Gaming Morning Show Morning Gaming News. Hot Dog Bun Water is here. Thank you for being here. We are talking about the PlayStation Plus Extra that has launched, and it is time for the Gaming Morning Show Morning Gaming News. This is where we tell you about the video game headlines of the day. And the nice thing about that is we're going to talk more about this PlayStation Plus launch, because this is kind of hot off the presses, if you will. Let's see. Unfortunately, I got to pull this up kind of real time, which is not a problem. I can do this in a second. We're having internet issues at Sports.Gaming Studio, and so still resolving those, I believe. PlayStation Plus Extra. You get to see behind the curtain of the creation of Gaming Morning Show's segment. Here we go. Let's get the news. Here's hashtag I'm not a video game expert. It's just Hefty Goof. All right. Good morning. It is Tuesday, March 29th, 2022. I don't have a pancreas loaded with video game knowledge, so this is where we're at. This is from Jim Ryan. This is the Dateline, president and CEO of PlayStation's, Sony Interactive Entertainment. 1 hour ago, they put this out. So there's going to be basically a combination of PlayStation Plus and PlayStation Now. So PlayStation Now was the gaming service that lets you play kind of more of like the library of PlayStation games, I believe, and they were also streaming, if I remember correctly, or you had to download it. Either way, that's now combined with PlayStation Plus. Now, the Essentials tier, the Essential tier, is basically what we've already had if you're just playing PlayStation Plus online games, right? You get the 2 monthly downloadable games, different discounts, there's some cloud storage, online multiplayer. Really nothing changes with the PlayStation Plus Essential. I believe it's still going to be $10 a month. Okay. Now, this is where the new stuff comes in. The PlayStation Plus Extra is going to be $15 a month, and I'm giving you US prices. $100 a year. And it's going to include a catalog of up to 400 of the most enjoyable PlayStation 4 and PlayStation 5 games, including blockbuster hits. That's what Downs, I think, was talking about, where it sounds like it's a little bit more PlayStation Now legacy. If you go to the premium tier, which is already up to $17.99 a month, and if I am not mistaken, chat, your Xbox Game Pass, like Ultimate, costs $14.99, right? So you're looking at $15 that already on paper seems like it might be a more complete product, a more valuable product than this, but I'll read what it comes with. It comes with the Essential and Extra, right? 340 additional games, including PS3 games and classic games all the way down to the PlayStation and PSP generations. It offers cloud streaming access for original games, and in premium markets, which has a whole bunch of asterisks, I don't know to which these pertain, customers can stream games using PlayStation 4 and PlayStation 5 consoles. There's also going to be game trials that will be offered on this tier. I don't like it so far, but let's see what's next. PlayStation Plus Deluxe. This is for markets without game cloud streaming. It'll offer a lower price compared to premium and include a catalog of other games. Be phased regional approach. We'll begin with initial launch in several markets in Asia, then North America, Europe, and the rest of the world. There will be an early look today and plan to share more information. So if you want to find it, you can. Just go to the PlayStation blog, and I'll share that link right now in the chat. It seems like to me that this is more of a rebrand than actually offering a new product. But I could be wrong. Jack says, I basically only have Netflix, YouTube, and Pluto. That's enough for me. YouTube actually has a pretty great legal-free library. Papa Paz. I don't believe it's anymore since loads of these movies, exclusive TV shows are featured on subservice instead of movie theaters. If you compare our Netflix, it's pretty different, but we also have a dumb rule in Canada where we need X amount of Canadian content. Hey, support your country folks, country people. Okay. So there you go. There's one piece of news. This next thing will be just Hefty Goof going to a website and pulling up information. All right. There's an Elden Ring speedrunner who's beaten a game in under 20 minutes. I don't want to talk about that. I was kind of over the speedrun stuff because it seems like they were exploiting things, which is fine. I mean, I'm just not into speedrunning, so there you go. K-Loff is here. Good morning. I have heard getting a VPN through your Netflix will help you get some more shows. I have heard that too, and I've never tried it. But that is something that I have heard. Jordy Jasper, hello. Have we talked about ESO news yet? No, and you are welcome to, because I am not a video game expert, and so having to do the gaming morning show, morning gaming news, and kind of do it on the fly is not easy. I did see this yesterday. Apex Legends, the 120 hertz versions, the PS5 and Xbox Series apps are going to go ahead and launch with this upcoming Warriors Collection LTM. Respawn put this out on Twitter in a blog post as well. If you have a PlayStation 5 and an Xbox Series X, you'll be able to get 4K visuals at 60 frames per second, HDR visuals and improved shadows and draw distances. The Xbox Series S will get the HDR. 120 hertz gameplay is listed as, quote, coming in future updates to all next-gen consoles, along with further in visual and audio improvements and support for the PS5 DualSense controller's adaptive triggers and haptic feedback. So, if you're excited for the Warriors Collection, which is, again, the upcoming LTM from Apex Legends, well, good news. You're also going to have access to some of the next-gen, well, the next-gen version of the game, which I imagine is going to look really cool. I have finally gotten my other computer, not the streaming computer, not this one, up to the point where it can do Apex Legends. Now, it's a built-in processor, video graphics type machine, so I'm not sure how well it'll handle it, but I at least have it set up, and it's not crashing my computer. I just need to fine-tune like the frame rates. So once I have that, I actually might start playing Apex solely on computer, which will be interesting. So anyway, that's from Polygon. That story comes your way from Ollie Welsh of Polygon. All right, now I'm going to shift over to Game Informer, because that's one of the places that Sean usually gets his knowledge from his kidneys on.
Correction. Sean's gaming knowledge actually
Originates from where? It's probably still his pancreas. All right, let's see what else is going on. This is a story from Marcus Stewart. Jesse Buckley is going to star in the Dark Pictures anthology, The Devil in Me. This is an upcoming installment in Supermassive Games' collection of horror games, and the season finale. The cinematic trailer has established the atmosphere for the scares to come. The Devil in Me, the documentary film crew that gets invited to explore a replica of the home of America's first serial killer, and while exploring the murder castle, things quickly churn for the worse as the crew is stalked by a dangerous figure. They had recently trademarked titles of 5 more games, bringing the total to 10. And they've had a busy 2022, according to Stewart. The studio deems the star-studded title as a spiritual successor to Until Dawn. So, there you go. There's some news from us at Gaming Morning Show, and did pretty okay. All right, let's see what Jordy has to say, because Jordy's smarter at video games than me. Subscription players have access to the DLC automatically, though it can be purchased a la carte for 1,500 crowns, about $15 US. Console players, don't despair. Your turn is coming March 29th, by which point the PC players will have fully play-tested it for you. This is, again, ESO. I didn't know anything about it until I saw, but I'm a big ESO fan. Jordy, what's ESO? Help me. What's ESO? Don't tell everybody that I don't know. Dropping its first big DLC of the year with the release of the Extending Tide DLC on PC, Mac, and Stadia. The DLC kicks off the MMO's 2022 Legacy of the Bretons arc. It includes 2 4-person chart dungeons, Coral, Airly, maybe, and Shipwright's Regret in normal and vet modes as its core features, as it does, because we're, of course, talking about Elder Scroll Online. Okay, this makes sense because we haven't got to this segment, Jordy, which is what's out today. Because as we do every single show, we give you a list of things that are out today. And that includes Crusader Kings 3 for PlayStation 5, Xbox Series X and S. Crystar out for Switch today. Ikai, PlayStation 5, PlayStation 4, Xbox Series X and S, Xbox One, Switch, and PC. In Nightmare for PS5 and PS4. Pure Crosswords for Switch. And then, as I definitely remembered, considering this is in our question of the day in all of our stream titles, out today, Elder Scrolls Online Ascending Tide. Did you know that's the first big DLC of the year? That's right. It's out for PC, Mac, and Stadia, as well as Xbox Series X and S, Xbox One, PlayStation 5, and PlayStation 4. It's gonna be really great because it has a new arc and includes 2 4-person dungeons as its core feature. Just like I knew. I tried, Jordan. Also, Vengeful Heart is out today. Xbox Series X and S, Xbox One, and Switch. WRC 10, the official game, out today for Switch. Abramore is out for PC. Forward Escape the Fold for PC and Mac. Jinsu Squad for PC. Patrick's Parabox for PC and Mac. Like that name, but it's not our name of the morning. Instead, our name of the morning goes to TFC, the Fertile Crescent for PC and Mac. So those are the games that are out today. All right. I have some bad news, chat. That's not going to be on any of our platforms. That might have been the most disjointed gaming morning show, morning gaming news in history. So there you go. If you did miss any of it though, like yesterday's, because today's was just not worth watching, just go to our Twitter and search
#GMS Morning Gaming News.
That's now 6:39. This is something that someone pointed out in chat yesterday. Thank you, Jordy. No, you did great. If you were my producer in my ear, no, even look at what Down said. Down said, "Well done, Hefty. Could have fooled me with your video game expertise." That's right. Everyone bask in the glory of my knowledge.
From what kidney does Sean's gaming knowledge originate?
Well, as you know, Sean and I are brothers-in-law, and so because of that, maybe we're a good match for kidneys, because that's how it works, genetics, and marrying into family. Anyway, Sean let me borrow his kidney. I'm gonna give it back to Sean later today, because that's how that works, right? You just unplug them like a USB cable. I don't need this. You borrow it. So, but if you were the producer in my ear, Jordy, no one would have even known. Yeah, subscription players have access to it automatically. It can be purchased a la carte for 1,500 crowns, which, as we all know, is $15 US. Check it out. Elder Scrolls Online Ascending Tide out today. Now, in all seriousness, this is where I do love this show and being part of a crew of people who bring you gaming morning show, morning gaming news. I'm curious about why people like the games that they do. That's probably what I like the most. So, Jordy, and anyone else who's excited about ESO, what are you looking forward to the most? That's the thing that I would like to know. So. Hot Dog Bunwater says, no need to have streaming subscriptions with a VPN when the streaming pirate sites with a VPN. Big brain. Hey, Gaming Morning Show does not condone stealing content. However, Hot Dog, if you found a way that works for you, that sounds great. Now I know if stealing was the right word. Who needs kidneys, says Hot Dog, when there's dialysis? Well, I think everyone would agree. if you can have the choice, probably kidneys are better. But let's be thankful, I suppose, that dialysis exists for those who don't. But I've heard that, like, kidney donation times are still just absolutely ridiculous. This is from Jack. You should never return a kidney once you borrow one. You need to get the other person a new one. It's common decency. You know what movie I watched the other day, and this comes up from the kidney conversation. I watched The Island, which is a Michael Bay movie from like the mid 2000s, and it was a movie that I really, really liked. I think it was fine after rewatching it. But there's the whole premise is they basically grow human beings to replace parts on, well, their source material, the human being. So let's say I was having an organ issue. Let's say it was my liver. I would go and pay $5 million to this place. They would grow another me, but the whole premise was they were telling you that, like, they weren't growing another person. They were just growing like a shell of a person that had like no emotion or thought, and then they would take the organs from them, which is still a whole conversation. But there's a scene where Michael Clark Duncan, I hope I have that name right, was in the Green Mile, right? I think. He is a professional football player in the island, and he's getting his liver taken because the actual real football player, his liver's failing. And there's a part in that movie where they put like a liver, like they show it getting like vacuum sealed up. It is huge. Are livers that big? That's where I was going with this the whole time. Are livers that big? Because I always imagine like most of the stuff in my body, like I understand like the heart's supposed to be about the size of your fist. But, like the liver was like head-sized. I was just impressed. 643. I will tell you that story about the Kawasaki goat robot coming up after this game of Rocket League. We also have birthdays this day in gaming history on the horizon. Look, it's Maiko is on vacation today, and Sports.Gaming is currently buying a new internet service provider as we speak. Jordy is excited. Says, I'm excited for the new content. Keeps the game fresh. I'll have to get ESO Plus again. Oh, is that like a subscription service? I mean, I primarily play Apex Legends. I only play this game because of the show, but I would play this game more. You know, Jordy's played it with me offline before. I would play this game more. Like, I like Rocket League a lot, but I primarily play Apex. And it's easy to say, like, well, I play Apex because it's free, but clearly it's not if you play it long enough, because even I consider myself fairly frugal in purchasing, like, skins and stuff like that. And even I have spent at least $60 on that game. But if you look at that, like, that's why I'm okay with, like I said earlier, we pay for GameFly, which is $23 a month. So the way that I see it is you have 2 games at a time. So you're basically paying $11 per month for the games. And if you get to the point where you've kept that game long enough, where you're playing it on a monthly basis, let's say you have it for 4 months, then we end up buying it, so that we can get another game that we don't have, because they were, you know, it's mostly the kids playing on Switches, because the kids have been enjoying the game that they had. However, I was looking at it today, they sent like a promo for you get $10 when you buy MLB The Show, and since both the kids now have Switch Lites, they've primarily been playing those. They got those for birthdays and Christmas and stuff. We have a Switch that we use for like playing as a family. I was actually thinking about getting MLB The Show to play on the Switch, because that would be something that I would totally play like on the road, or if I had to go up to work and was trying to play a game during a lunch break, even though that's not something I'm doing right now. But I don't know. I thought it might be kind of fun. So anyway, a consideration that I'm making. And that'll be the first game that I've bought since the Call of Duty games. And the last one I bought was Cold War. And I only bought those because I had people to play with. I was able to play with Patreon subscriber 5 still, and I was able to play with GMS Legend Ben. I think that's a perfect title, by the way, for Ben, GMS Legend, because not many know about Ben. Ben was one of our hosts, like, in the soft launch, like the cold open days back in July of 2020 or August of 2020. No one's seen him since, except for an episode of GMS After Dark, which, by the way, is coming up tomorrow at 4:45 p.m. Pacific time. Maiko's on vacation, but we will have a show for you. Details to be announced on Twitter and on Discord. So. Jack says, nobody show him the size of a kidney and know that there are 2 of them in us. Wait, is a kidney as big as my head, too? What's bigger, a liver or a kidney? I have to imagine the liver is bigger because you got one of those and then you got 2 kidneys in the, like, default design. Right? Please don't tell me a kidney is as big as my heart. If the whole fist analogy is good for kidneys as well, I'm going to be, like, flabbergasted. There's no way, right? Papa Pause, yes, a subscription service. Thank you. You play the game for free, but if you get the subscription, you get all the areas and DLC dungeons, which is a lot of content. Yeah. Well, this actually reminds me of kind of what Kate Zaid said in the beginning of the show, where Kate brought up the idea that, you know, the subscription service, and we were talking about it more in the context of television, but the subscription services, Kate liked them better because she was able to pay for them individually and then stop them at any time. And I agree, like, I don't think I would sign up for Game Pass if there was a contract. I would sign up for Game Pass if there was, like, an incentive to pay yearly, which honestly seems like, remember how freemium was, like, the key, and it still is a model, right? You have Spotify. Spotify probably still uses a freemium model, I assume, where you can still use Spotify for free, but if you want to get rid of ads, you can pay more. I have Spotify Premium, so I don't know if they still have that, right? I'm sure there's other ones. Peacock. I've been using Peacock for the Dan Patrick Show, and you can log in there and use Peacock for free, and then pay for other things or get it for ads, without ads for a certain amount. Like, that model I think is great. If you get an incentive to pay, you know, for the year and save a couple of months, like if it's $120 a year, if you pay $10 a month, great, right? Like, that's cool. But if you can pay it for $100 up front and you have the means to do that, like, I think that is a good model. So. All right, we got birthdays this day in gaming history coming up after this game of Rocket League. We'll also get reaction to just how well I did in the Gaming Morning Show, Morning Gaming News from Sports.Gaming. Because it's now 6:49 on the West Coast. It is 9:50 on the East Coast. And it is now 2:50 for those watching GMS in the UK. That's Sports.Gaming. Hello, how are you? Did you call tech support?
I am tech support.
Did they pay you
Have to
extra
fix
for that?
everything.
Did they pay you extra for that?
Never. They still charge me the same amount too. It's messed up.
I think it'd be great if in this world we could submit an invoice for our time doing tech support to your internet service provider, and then they have to give you like a refund.
had to fix your stuff. Here's my bill.
It's okay though. We can do a 1099. I don't need to be an employee. It's fine. Just pay me as a contract. Thank you for being here. I did your news by randomly looking up stories from Polygon and Game Informer, but I also had Jordy giving me ESO information because Elder Scrolls Online is out today. So, or the DLC. So, what's his name? Down said, I did pretty good. In fact, couldn't even tell that I was not a video game expert.
Oh, nice. Nice work. Yeah, it doesn't take much. You just read stories, and people ask questions. You're like, okay, we don't have time to get into it.
Okay, I didn't do that part. I should have done that. When Jordy's like, did you talk about ESO already? I should have been like, no, I want to. And then I also was reminded that
got cut for time. Sorry.
That the person who put the topic of the day in there, included it in the thing that scrolls every 20 minutes. Elder Scrolls Online is sending Tide out today, so
nice work.
So smart. We're gonna cram a whole lot in here. It's gonna be tough, but we're gonna try to do it. This is what we're tracking at this hour on Gaming Morning Show. This comes your way courtesy of Cycle World's Rob Lieback. Cycle World's Rob Lieback. This might be Rob's first appearance on Gaming Morning Show. We're talking about Bex, B-E-X, not Beck, like I'm a loser baby, but Bex, which is like a naming convention similar to that of Gex, the gecko game, and T-Rex, but it's Bex. It's a rideable robot goat.
Naturally.
It's from Kawasaki. I had originally thought this was going to be like a converted like motorcycle or something. Apparently not the case. It's the world's largest robot trade show, the Robot Exhibition, International Robot Exhibition, that revealed this robot goat. Was in Tokyo earlier this month. It's a byproduct of Kawasaki's humanoid program, and they recently had unveiled Kaleido, and a robot engineered in a joint effort with the University of Tokyo. Well, now there's Bex, which was named after the ibex, a goat found in the Middle East. It's slowly prancing around the perimeter of an enclosed stage, and its rather ungoat-like flights flash along its neck and horns. The GoatBot moves in a fashion similar to Spot, the popular, arguably creepy, undeniably agile, quadrupedal robot from Boston Dynamics. Meteorological. Anyway, it's a goat, and it's a robot, and it can be seen stopping at the front of a stage, folding its 4 legs in half, and extruding 8 wheels, 2 on each robot leg, and the 2 wheels also ascend from their belly. The robot proceeds forth on a complex mechanical undulate roller skates and bend the Bex that moves. Anyway, there's a robot that looks like a goat. So,
couple questions.
Okay.
Why a goat?
I mean, it would be one thing if the goat was like designed to like clear debris. It's like a robot lawnmower. I didn't see that mentioned by Rob Liebeck of Cycle World, but who knows, right?
Nope.
So I don't know. That's my answer to your question. Any other?
I think that's the big one.
Okay.
I'm watching a video of it right now, and when it's rolling around on its wheels, there's no reason for it to be a goat. So, I guess it's mainly why a goat. Why?
It's an aesthetic. So goats are very popular right now. So. All right, let's get to birthdays this day in gaming history. First and foremost, Scott Chick says, hello, Sean.
Howdy.
And also talked about getting a song jingle in the mailbox. Yes, if you haven't checked your Patreon mailbox and you're a Patreon subscriber of at least a year, please check your Patreon email box. If you're a Patreon subscriber, period, be sure to go to our Discord Patreon-only chat, because today at 3:30 p.m. Pacific Time, we are hosting a special Patreon-only GMS Games. So check that out. It is in the Patreon-only chat. All right. Birthdays this day in gaming history. If you have a birthday to celebrate, please let us know, because we would like to celebrate with you. Today, it is comedian Eric Idle's birthday, turns 79.
His Spamalot has won both Grammy and Tony Awards.
There was a song in the Care Bears movie. It was called Care-a-Lot, because that's where they live. Care-a-Lot, we care a lot, and then they clap. Care-a-Lot, we care a lot. So when you say Spamalot, my brain thought of that.
We spam a lot.
It's a telemarketer's cry. Battle song. Congratulations, Eric. Brendan Gleeson turned 67 today as an actor.
Originally from Dublin, Ireland.
My sister got to go to Dublin as a student teacher. I would like to go to Ireland.
Did she meet Brendan Gleeson?
No word whether Brendan Gleeson was there at the time.
Okay.
I would go ahead and call my sister, but we already have an Ask Jeff segment. We're not going to have an Ask Ryan's sister segment.
Right. Do we need to call Jeff and ask him if your sister met Brendan Gleeson?
It's time for Ask Jeff. It's time for Ask Jeff. Ask Jeff.
I kind of have a feeling like I know how this one's going to go. But when my sister was a student teacher in Ireland, did she meet actor whose birthday is today, Brendan Gleeson?
How would I know?
See, I told you.
That checks out.
Yeah. Listen,
But what if he did know? I'd have so many follow-up questions.
there's no follow-up questions with Ask Jeff. It's one question. Get out. How would I know? I'm going to get so many text messages here shortly from him. Actress Marina Sirtis turned 67 today.
Nice.
Christopher Lambert turned 65 today. We always talk about Cleveland.com's pictures. That's a picture of Christopher Lambert. I don't know who Christopher Lambert is, period. However, that picture looks like Ted Danson at a tough angle. And I bet Ted Danson's at least 65. So
Interesting. His fun fact says Christopher Lambert is Ted Danson at the wrong angle.
Okay, there you
Weird.
go. I just got 3 question marks from Jeff. It's a text message. The first Ask Jeff segment that ever went to voicemail, and now the second one of the most perplexed he's ever been. Rock singer Perry Farrell turned 63 today.
He's from Jane's Addiction, and they were nominated for entry into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame in 2016.
Did they get in?
Time will only tell.
Are they lifetime nominations?
In typical Cleveland.com fashion, it does not say.
Elle McPherson has a birthday today, turns 59, was in the Batman and Robin movie as the love interest of Bruce Wayne.
Nice.
Oh no. Annabella. I said
Annabella Sciorra.
Sciorra turns 58 today.
She
graduated
from
yeah.
the American Academy of Dramatic Arts.
I didn't know there was an American Academy of Dramatic Arts. That sounds like a cool place. Oh, hey. Rock singer musician John Popper turns 55, a blues traveler.
Nice. He's originally from suburban Cleveland.com.
Did that sound just like a blues traveler harmonica?
I thought he was here.
Tadachi is here. So John Popper turns 55. Let's see, other birthdays today. Singer Willie Taylor is 41. Was on MTV's Making the Band 4 and was chosen to be part of the group Day 26. Also, musician PJ Morton is 41 today. Keyboardist for Maroon 5.
Nice.
Since 2012. There you go. Soccer player N'Golo Kanté, 31, French professional footballer, midfielder for Chelsea and the France national team.
Excellent.
Lucy Lawless is 54 today. Megan Hilty turns 41 today. All right, so there you go. There's your birthdays. Any other birthdays for you?
It's Cy Young's historical birthday.
Big fan of his award.
Do you think he ever won the Cy Young?
I'm sure there was an iteration of it before it was named the Cy Young, so I bet there's a chance. K-Laugh, figure that out, please. That was really, wow, that was really abrupt of me.
Now. Do it.
Sorry, K-Laugh. This day in gaming history, we have one from before 1995, so Sean gets to play Lawsuit or Not Lawsuit. This one dates back to 1983.
Not lawsuit.
Bob plays a didgeridoo. Your answer is locked in. You said not a lawsuit. 1983, federal court judge, Albert Bryan, issues a temporary restraining order barring Atari from requiring its distributors to deal exclusively with Atari items. I'm so sorry.
Correct.
Bob said it.
He guessed not a lawsuit.
Restraining order is not a lawsuit.
Whatever.
It's a restraining order.
Bob likes it.
Bob said that's the word.
Bob's on my side.
1996, Sega and SoftBank create Sega Entertainment in the U.S., convert Sega products to run on personal computers. First release title is expected by June. I wonder if that ever got off the ground. Did you remember a lot of Sega stuff running on PCs?
Mm-mm.
I'm curious about that one.
I do not.
1998, Squaresoft releases Parasite Eve for PlayStation in Japan and the U.S. In the year 2000, Capcom released Resident Evil Code Veronica for the Dreamcast. 2001, Japan is where Sony released a cable allowing the PlayStation 2 to connect to iMode phones for gaming.
Sounds like a terrible idea.
iMode.
iMode phones.
2003, an anonymous hacker reveals a method to run Linux on an unmodified Xbox video game system by exploiting a buffer overflow flaw in the save load game function of the James Bond 007 and Agent Under Fire video game. The flaw exists in several games and can be used to load and runs other software on the Xbox. The hacker is now eligible to win US $100,000 challenge funded by Lindo's founder, Michael Robertson.
Nerd.
A lot of words in that one.
Nerd alert.
2009, Activision put out Guitar Hero Metallica for a variety of machines.
Remember those days?
2011, Tecmo Koei releases Dynasty Warrior 7, and that same year, Electronic Arts put out Shift 2 Unleashed for PlayStation 3 and
Xbox 360.
Look at that.
Nice work.
We squeezed in a robot goat story in a place it didn't belong and still got out on time. How about that? Proud of us.
Silly goat.
All right, next hour, we'll introduce you to Bear Bear. If you don't know our mascot, we'll say hi. Also, oh, never mind. This has changed. Did you know that dudes love building weird stuff? Well, they built a goat, but besides a goat, there's some other weird stuff. Imagine a robot Bob. Wouldn't that be something? He'd live in his robot box and say robot words at the touch of a button. Could you imagine if that was the case?
Bob says pretty okay.
Controlled by a wizard in purple and orange, making him say things. Robot things like beep boop 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 beep boop boop boop.
Beep bop boop beep boop.
Anyway, here are 10 bizarre robots we ended up making. And by we, I mean Sean. Probably he had some part in this. Oh, that crazy Sean. Sports.
Beep bop boop beep boop bop. Beep,
Gaming
boop,
Morning
beep,
Show, second hour,
bop, boop,
coming your way
boop,
next.
beep, bop,
It is
beep,
Tuesday,
boop,
March
beep,
29th,
bop.
2022. Thanks for being here. Facebook Gaming, Twitch, YouTube, Twitter, gamingmorningshow.tv. It's just...
Don't worry, the swords missed me. Anyone need a good spritzing? Coming up on Gaming Morning Show, list of the day and sports. Find GMS on Facebook Gaming, Twitch, YouTube, and GamingMorningShow.tv. Coming this month from GMS. GMS plays Fudge Village. And the Superphonic Memorial Super Gig, a Concert, starring Sports.Gaming. Follow GMS on Twitter and Discord for more details. Time for hour number 2. Right now.
Morning, gamer. Gaming Morning Show continues. Thanks for being here, wherever you may be. It is Tuesday, March 29th, 2022. Thank you for being along. That is Sports.Gaming on the left side of your screen. I am Hefty Goof. Bob said coming this month from GMS. GMS plays Fudge Village in the Superphonic Memorial Super Gig, a concert starring Sports.Gaming. I don't think that that's true.
Is one of them tomorrow and then one of them Thursday?
I think you're a little too optimistic, my friend. Bob really wants to see you play the guitar or something like that.
The guitar.
Bob is good with it.
Good, I'm happy Bob is.
All right.
We are already into the second hour, but nothing would be complete without the Bear, the one behind the window, who must be here to show us his power. Hour and power. You know, I think the reason that he doesn't like showing up as early when you and me are together, as opposed to when there's Austin or Mike as well, is Bear doesn't get enough camera time.
It's true.
It's like his right shoulder.
It's too bad. It's a good shoulder, though. Many have said that's his best shoulder.
It's a high quality shoulder. Yep. I've heard many people talk about shoulders in the past, and by far, Bear's is the best.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I did for the first time in weeks yesterday?
Shaved.
Look at that. I trimmed, I guess. Is that acceptable?
Sure.
Well, I'm asking, like, when you trim your beard, does that still count as shaving?
Sure. I think so.
I've never been into trimmers this much in my life. Like, mine died, the one that I had, and so I like really invested in like a new one. And I feel pretty good about it. It does everything kind of one pass.
Nice. Looks good.
It's like touching a baby's bottom. Look.
A well-groomed baby's bottom.
So smooth. Your kid has hair. Oh.
Lots of it.
So much hair. Okay, so you need to settle something for us. Kalaf had helped us earlier, and then I was apparently way too aggressive when I asked Kalaf to help with the second research project. So, on behalf of all of us at Gaming Morning Show, my fault. The liver. Kidney is 10 to 13 centimeters by 5 to 7.5 centimeters by 2 and 2.5 centimeters. Weighs around 150, 160 grams. The liver is bigger, 120 to 1,800 grams. So that is true. The liver is bigger than the kidney, right?
Correct.
Now, if you put two kidneys next to each other, would it be bigger than the liver?
No, liver still should be bigger.
Okay. Because the liver is massive, right?
Liver's large.
It's bigger than the heart, right?
Yeah. Should be.
Is this still true? The fist is the size of your heart thing?
Roughly, yeah.
Okay.
That checks out.
We were watching The Island with Duncan Sheik and Scarlett Johansson. And there's a scene where Michael Clark Duncan gets cut open and they take his liver. And the liver is just gigantic.
Well, he's Duncan Sheik's, or who is it? You said two names.
Michael Clark Duncan.
Michael
is the
Clark
one.
Duncan.
Yeah.
Michael Clark Duncan Sheik. He's known for his large liver.
Michael Clark. Yeah, that was who it was. Oh yeah, Michael Clark Duncan died like 10 years ago. I didn't think it was that long ago. Wow. Yeah, it's in the island in 2005.
A long time ago.
That was after the Green Mile was in 1999.
Yeah. Wow. Old movie.
I'm blown away. All right, we have a list of the day coming up. We're going to tell you about robots because today we told you a story about Bex, the robot from Kawasaki that's for some reason a goat. Coming up later this hour, we will tell you about an Illinois woman who keeps getting unwanted shoe deliveries from the UPS delivery person. I didn't order these. Take it back. Shh. Quiet I Am Gaming's here. According to sources, the liver is the size of a football. The heart, for comparison, is about the size of a fist. The heart of rock and roll is in Cleveland.
.com.
Birthdays is stink. That's we could have Bob sing that song for the introduction to birthdays. That'd be good. That'd be real good. That song always kind of threw me off until the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame like really became top of mind for me because I never understood why the heart of rock and roll was in Cleveland.
Right. Of all places.
Is Huey Lewis in the News from Cleveland? Or is Huey Lewis, I suppose?
Not sure. That would make sense though.
K-Laugh, please.
Now. Do my bidding.
Where's Huey Lewis from K-Laugh? Earthling Gaming is here. Good morning to you, Earthling. It's good to see you. Geriatric Fortnite is staying for good, y'all. I like how we called it the old person Fortnite League. And that's grown to be the geriatric Fortnite. Oh my gosh, that's good. Yeah, that was kind of alluded to in a prior gaming morning show, Morning Gaming News with Sports.Gaming, that data miners had seen that it's probably going to stay. So. What do you mean, Earthling Gaming? We've been on the gaming scene this whole time. Knockoff K-Laugh says Huey Lewis was born in New York City, but he was raised in Marin County, California.
So yes.
That's basically Cleveland. I hope Knockoff K-Laugh is a compliment.
Backup K-Laugh?
Backup was probably a better adjective than knockoff K-Laugh. How about
store brand K-Laugh?
Ooh, no. How about Vice K-Laugh? Because we have a Vice video game expert when... Oh, no. Quiet has a good point. How about Protege?
Protege K-Laugh?
Is there like
K-Laugh in training?
Is there any like in like the Harry Potter world, is there any like when you're not fully wizard yet? Or even better, like in the medical profession.
I don't think so.
When you're not full doctor yet? Aren't you like a resident?
Intern or resident?
Do you want to be... Nah, I like Protege. Although if you are K-Laugh in training, it's Kit.
Just like the car.
Yeah. You could have a for some reason Kit, I just wanted to say it sounded like Michael Caine, which is clearly not true. Why did I think Michael K? Is everything okay up here today? Oh my gosh.
I don't think so.
I don't think so either. Well, in my defense, because you had to do tech support this morning, I was by myself for about an hour, so maybe I used all the good brain space that I have, and all that's left is the the miscellaneous category.
You wasted the good surprise on.
You wasted the good surprise on you. That's one of the best lines ever. I think Protege K-Laugh. It even sounds like a big official title. Do we have a deal? Quiet? We can sign the contract later. This can be a verbal agreement. Did I just say K-Laugh?
No, I think you said quiet.
Can we have a replay, please? All right.
I don't know how this helps us. It's not a replay.
All right, we can sign the contract later, quiet. But do we have a verbal agreement? Protege K-Laugh. Downs. Hello, Michael. Hope you have a chipper day. Kit 2022. Quiet, just blub, 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 blub. Thank you, K-Laugh. I said K-Laugh again. Thank you.
You were just
Protege.
dropping the protege.
Yes, K-Laugh for short. Okay. You are becoming one, quiet. The student is now the teacher. Protege K-Laugh. It sounds like a dance move or something like that. What did that person execute over there? Oh, well, they clearly executed a Protege K-Laugh.
It was a perfect protege K-Laugh.
Yeah. I give it a 10 out of 10.
Oh.
That was a nice shot, though.
Had it.
Okay, just don't go to overtime. We already have one game go to overtime, and that's not allowed till the third hour, so. Thank you. Maybe not. Thank you. All right, we're one of life's winners, chat. Look at that. Victorious in a game of Rocket League. Maybe every game should start
You are one of life's winners.
with our faces on the screen the whole time.
Maybe.
No, seriously, Earthling, it's great to see you. Thank you for everyone who's joining us. We are a morning radio show that plays games Monday through Friday, 6 to 9 a.m. Pacific time on Facebook Gaming, Twitch, YouTube, Twitter, and at gamingmorningshow.tv. Today's topic of the day has to do with PlayStation. Has come out with basically its initial answer to Xbox Game Pass. It's called PlayStation Plus Extra, and then there's a couple of different tiers. We'll recap it in the Gaming Morning Show Morning Gaming Renews next hour. But we're asking you, how do you feel about subscription-based gaming? Do you have a love, a hate for subscription-based gaming? Neutral? What's your stance?
I'm fairly neutral to it. I'm not inherently against it, but I don't utilize it a ton. Like for instance, I've never really used Xbox Live. And I enjoy games that, like, I buy the game, play the game, I'm done with the game. So like things, mobile games are the perfect example of this, where it's like the game is free, but at some point you have to put in a bunch of microtransactions to progress. Like, I'd rather just pay you, even if it was more, even if, say, I needed to spend $5 in microtransactions periodically to get through the game, I'd rather just pay you $10 and be able to just play the game. Plants vs. Zombies 2 had that problem, that it was free, which was great, but eventually you got to a point where you can either grind for hundreds of hours or pay microtransactions, and that was one of the biggest complaints that I saw and also had, was just let me buy the game and play the levels. Like, this is ridiculous. And then I've never really partook in any like game specific subscription based services other than PlayStation Plus.
Okay. Yeah, I think you and I are coming from different sides because I like the freemium model, but I don't like, if this is what you're referring to with Plants vs. Zombies, I don't like when you have to pay to continue the game, if that makes sense, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like, I'm fine with like an Apex Legends model where it's like, if I want to pay for cosmetics or something, I can. And eventually I understand that I'm probably going to get to the point where I'm paying at least $60, you know, the price point. So I'm okay accepting that. But if there's like a gateway, like you cannot advance to level 5 unless you pay 50 cents or whatever, I don't like that.
Yeah, this was microtransactions to be able to progress through the game, not cosmetics.
I'm with you then. I'd rather just pay for the whole thing. I think the Xbox, I mean, I did the $15 a month or whatever, and I played Dead by Daylight for, you know, the Halloween special, and then I paid $15 for Xbox Game Pass to play Halo, and that worked perfectly for me. If I had canceled it correctly, I wouldn't have paid more than the $15, and that's where I screwed up. But if I could go in there and just kind of play a random game for X amount of dollars, or not even X amount of dollars, for free, yeah, I think the subscription model works pretty well for me.
Yeah.
So, now, I'm excited to see what actually happens with the PlayStation Plus Extra, because on paper, when we read through it during the morning gaming news, it seemed kind of like a rebrand, and that's about it.
Yeah, it's doing away with PlayStation Now and bringing it under the PlayStation Plus umbrella is really what it's at now, which isn't a bad first step if they're wanting to develop something to properly compete with Game Pass. Because I forget the numbers, but say if it was 50 million, they had 50 million PlayStation Now subscribers, they had 40 million PlayStation Plus subscribers, and they're trying to bring those more in harmony. And this model makes it cheaper for those that were doing both. Buying, you know, $60 a year for PlayStation Plus, and then however much PlayStation Now was. Doing this model will bring that down in terms of a total cost, but it's not a true equivalent to Game Pass, because it's not that different than PlayStation Now was, which is fine if you're looking for that. But like many have pointed out, it's missing the day and date, like Sony-owned studio games. Not having those is probably the biggest difference between what was Xbox Now and is now this PlayStation Now and now is PlayStation Plus Extra. That's probably the biggest difference between that and Game Pass.
Yeah. We'll talk more about this next hour as well. Thank you for being along for the ride today, this edition of Gaming Morning Show. Let's do our list of the day. This comes your way from Listverse. Oliver Taylor wrote it in April of 2018. Top 10 bizarre robots that were ever made. Earlier today, we told you about Bex, a rideable robot goat from Kawasaki. Number 10 on this list.
10.
It's a robot that eats plants and maybe humans. Why is that a maybe?
I don't know, but this is how the Horizon Zero Dawn apocalypse started, with robots that ate plant material. Just saying.
Okay, that's scary. By the way, today at noon, Horizon Forbidden West, our GMS Play Series episode 14 comes out. The energetically autonomous tactical robot, Eater. It was by Cyclone Power Technologies. Eater! And I love the fact that its first word was energetically. Oh my gosh. It was used to feed on vegetation. In fact, that created its own fuel. It also had a built-in chainsaw.
Also present in Horizon Zero Dawn.
Holy cow. Did no one look at that and be like, let's give it a chainsaw? Wow.
I think I saw this specific robot on those Robot Wars competitions.
People started asking questions about the chainsaw, particularly whether it had other undisclosed uses like chopping dead enemy soldiers for fuel. Oh my gosh, Cyclone Power Technologies, Robotic Technology Inc., and DARPA responded to these allegations and clarified the robot was a strict vegetarian. It did not eat humans, living or dead, and there were no plans to make it do so. Editorialized by me yet.
Wink.
What did you just...
9.
Oh, no winks.
When asked for further comment, they said, wink. Number 9 is robots that ride camels. I feel like I don't even need to explain it. That just makes so much sense.
8.
Camel. Oh, I cannot explain it.
I mean, it's a robot that rides camels. What more do you want, chat? Like,
Yeah.
we got it covered.
8.
Kate Zaid likes camels, so now you have a robot that you can get that can ride the camel too. A robot that feeds its wearer tomatoes. It looks like a headpiece. The tomatotin. The tomatin. You basically wear it on your head, and this person who was wearing it in this video ran, and while this person was running, the robot fed the runner tomatoes.
Yep.
7.
My favorite part is they say it has a tomato head because how else will people know it's a tomato dispensing robot? Number 7 is a robot armed with a pistol.
That's good.
Doggo is the. I feel bad about
the
our.
chainsaw was bad.
Yeah, right. Ugh. Doggo is the name of a small tracked robot built by General Robotics of Israel. The robot is nimble and lightweight, can go under cars, maneuver around small corners, and even climb stairs. It's fitted with 8 cameras. Is also armed with a Glock 26 pistol, which makes it suitable for some other duties, it says.
Oh my gosh. This is a bad idea.
6.
Yeah.
Robot that hitchhikes, the Hitchbot. It hitchhiked over 10,000 kilometers, 6,200 miles from Halifax to Victoria in Canada, over 26 days, had 19 rides, and then it later went to Germany and the Netherlands. That same year, a second robot hitchhiked across the U.S., started in Salem, Massachusetts, was supposed to end up in San Francisco, never got to its destination as it was murdered in Philadelphia. Its head was stolen, the rest of its body was completely destroyed.
Oh, Philadelphia.
5.
Number 5, robots that smoke cigarettes. We have 2 robots that smoke cigarettes here. The first is Electro, a 213 centimeter tall, which is 7 feet, robot that was unveiled at the 1939 World's Fair. It also had a robot English Terrier robot dog named Sparko. There was a second smoker robot, aptly named Cigarette Smoking Bot. It was created by researchers at Harvard. This is a chain smoker capable of smoking up to 12 cigarettes at a go. It puffs its cigarette like a human would, and researchers can even adjust its smoking speed. This bot was created to observe how smoking affects humans.
4.
It's actually now used to sustain the cigarette market. Just give it to the robots. All right, this one seems like it might be the most useful one so far, even though I'm not discounting being able to ride camels or feed you tomatoes whilst running. But this one says comfort dying people. You usually need to be around loved ones to dying people, but for those whose loved ones won't be there, robot designer and artist in Rhode Island was able to help with the last moment robot. It holds the person's forearm and quickly introduces itself and explains what it does. Whether it is ethical to have a robot comfort a dying person in lieu of a human is one question that will be up for debate. I hadn't thought about that. But we don't know anyone's reaction yet because the robot has not been used with a dying person. Again, this is from back in 2018.
3.
Number 3 is robots that duel. With the increased interest in robotics, it's only a matter of time before we start using robots to duel, right? Aren't we already doing that? Haven't we seen? I already mentioned Robot Wars. While smaller robots have been pitted against each other since at least 1994, 2017 became the year when 2 big robots dueled for the first time. Contestants were Eagle Prime by Megabots of the United States and Kurata by Suidobashi Heavy Industries of Japan.
Megabots, assemble.
2.
One of them cost $2.5 million.
It's a bargain. The Jankin robot always wins rock, paper, scissors. No human can defeat it because it cheats. Because it can recognize the gesture that the human opponent's about to make and quickly counter. It also cheated in its first version, but it was slower at it. It's now cheating at a rate of 20 milliseconds after it's a human opponent.
1.
I'm gonna watch this. I'm gonna watch this video later. Number 1 is a robot that pretends to have the swine flu. Created by an unnamed Japanese company, the Swine Flu Robot exhibits the symptoms of swine flu and will even die if not properly treated. It was built to train healthcare workers to treat swine flu victims. It looks like a human and is even covered in a material that replicates the features of human skin. It can sweat, moan, cry, convulse, etc., etc., etc. So I'm going back to this robot that wins paper, rock, scissors. We're gonna provide you a link, and you can watch it for yourself. But it's pretty fantastic looking. It's such a cheater.
There you go. The list first. I like how this list was written in 2018. And there was a robot that simulates the swine flu. Little did we know that a different type of virus was showing up. So, yeah. I wonder if they ever use robots to help figure out COVID.
I guess. Wait, when was this?
This was 2018.
So I guess in like 3 or 4 more years, we'll read another top 10 list of bizarre robots, and maybe it'll be there.
Yeah. There is the link, though, from listverse.com. Did you know that dudes love building weird stuff? Well, they built a goat, but besides a goat, there's some other stuff. Imagine a robot, Bob. Wouldn't that be something? He'd live in a robot box, say robot words at the touch of a button, controlled by a wizard of purple and orange, making him say things, robot things, like beep, boop, beep, boop, 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 boop. That would be an option, I suppose.
Beep, boop, beep, boop.
Anyway, it's 10 bizarre robots that we ended up making. So, and more. That was a good headline. Good headline. Earthling wants a robot. Downs goes Dr. Robotnik, and Kate Zaid says, I love camels so much. That's good. Jack actually would get a Dex. The Bex is the one that the Kawasaki group made. I thought Dex was a phone book.
Yeah. Yeah, I think you're right.
Oh,
Those are
but
just
yeah.
the yellow pages.
But yeah, I think that Jack's talking about the robot, because it seems like a decent way to get to work. Yeah. How'd you get into work today?
I don't know. It went pretty slow in the video. It was not a fast robot.
Why are you late? I was riding my Bex. Sorry.
My Bex only goes 5 miles an hour.
But it has a chainsaw.
And a Glock.
Why did they give it a Glock? It's a bad idea. Hey chat, are you a Patreon subscriber yet? Because if you're not, you should be. We can go invite you to go to patreon.com/gamingmorningshow, and our welcome tier starts at $1. Our subscriber tier costs less than a Twitch subscription, and that can be awesome because you get different perks like going to a Patreon only Discord, and inside there today at 3:30 this morning, well, this afternoon rather, 3:30 p.m. Pacific time, we're having a GMS Games exclusively for our Patreon subscribers. So check it out, patreon.com/gamingmorningshow, and thank you for supporting GMS. We have nearly 30 of you on the Patreon subscription tiers, and it means a lot to us, so thank you so much for helping GMS. Let's see what we're tracking at this hour. Michael's on vacation in Florida, but has a story from Ben Hooper of UPI that says an Illinois woman keeps getting unwanted shoe deliveries. More than 15 pairs of, quote, really, really, really tacky, end quote, shoes have been mistakenly delivered to her home over the course of a year. The shoes started being delivered to her home by UPS about a year ago, and between 15 and 20 pair have arrived since. Quote, they're really funny, and they're really, really, really tacky. quote, I explained the whole thing to her, and she understood it. This talking to someone at a UPS store. And so she took them back, and then like 4 days later, they came back in the mail to me. Apparently, these shoes are supposed to be returned to an Amazon vendor out of China, and the vendor's return label bears the words Simone and the address on Elm Street in Chicago, where this person lives. It's not the return carrier, so the UPS is attempting to try to correct the address error that led to being sent to Simone in Oak Park. Apparently, it's a clerical error, and the company said it would work with the vendor to get the return labels corrected. An Amazon representative said the company is aware of the issue. Quote, we have been able to address this highly unusual situation. We've reached out to our customer to apologize for this inconvenience involving a company selling on our site. We've also asked that the shoe seller make appropriate corrections to their end.
Interesting.
I mean, if that happened to me, I mean, at least could they send me, like, mint chocolate Twinkies?
Well, the big question is, are the shoes her size? At least they wouldn't go to waste.
Yeah. It's an option. There you go. That's what we're tracking at this hour on Gaming Morning Show. Digital Doc Games is here. Good morning to you, Digital Doc. You can find Digital Doc on YouTube and the Game Changers series from Digital Doc Games. Be sure to check that out. A very cool interview-style show while different folks are playing games with the doctor. Check it out. It's at youtube.com/digitaldocgames.
Good news. Our dad's here.
Hi, Dad. It's our dad who's also the Rocketeer, so it's kind of combining some of Mike's favorite things. So. Yeah, Dad even scores.
Dad's great.
That's how he became a dad. Sorry. Oh, we got sports coming up as well on this edition of Gaming Morning Show. Digital Doc Games and anyone just joining us, we are asking you about the new PlayStation Plus Elite, whatever it's called, Extra is what they're calling it. It's combining PlayStation Now and PlayStation Plus. There's still the Essentials tier, which is basically PlayStation Plus, and it's kind of their foray into the subscription-based video games. So we're asking you, how do you feel about subscription-based gaming? And it sounds like it has a fit in certain situations and still not a fit in others. But, you know, like I've talked about earlier in the show, I use GameFly, which is a subscription. It just ships you cartridges, right? Or CDs. But I like that because if there was a game that I didn't end up wanting to play, or, you know, in this case, since I'm getting the kids a lot of Switch games with it, if they get bored with it, it was a good deal. But if they like them, then after like 2 or 3 months, maybe 4, we just buy the game, and it's what we would have spent on the game anyway. But that's not
Blockbuster.
Yeah, I do too. And that's not really what we're talking about. This is, you know, in the cloud and all that stuff, but I think I just like the fact that if someone does not want to pay, you know, $60 or $70 for a game, they can find a way to get it. But I think you have to have a better mix of new games that are out. And it sounds like that's not what PlayStation has promised yet. So.
Right.
I'm not going to lie, Dad's pretty good.
That's top notch. That's the best.
Dad can stop the ball. Did you see that? Like, it dropped right into Dad's lap and just kind of held onto it.
Dad just flew. He missed, but he flew.
Dad has the flu?
The swine flu.
No! Doc says, I'm really excited to learn more details. What games are going to be available? What kind of third-party selection? And what does and when does first-party come in? If it's similar to Game Pass, I'll definitely be in. If it's is it only cloud or can it be downloaded too? And that was what PlayStation Now was, right? It was just cloud.
PlayStation Now started out as just cloud, and then they've added more downloading options, and this is going to be, in at least, I know for the second tier, that's all the like PlayStation 4 and PlayStation 5 games. Those can all be downloaded. I don't know about like the classics, like the PlayStation 1. I think it was PS3 is the hardest one to download and play, so those are probably cloud only still. But there were download options. It wasn't all just streaming.
So what's the hesitancy to offer downloads?
Part of it's just infrastructure. You're essentially emulating games, and the PlayStation 3's, the design of the hardware of the PlayStation 3 was so different from every other console. It makes it hard to run those natively on like a PlayStation 4 or PlayStation 5. But the older games, like a PlayStation 1 game, like you can just have the ability to emulate that on a PlayStation 4, and that's not a problem.
Okay, but like with the PlayStation 4 and 5 games, those are now, you're saying, available to download more, but in the beginning, why were they trying not to offer downloads?
No clue. You'd have to ask Sony. There's no reason for it, other than like maybe they were just making sure maybe it's easier to do that than to allow people to download it and then have things in place where you can't play it anymore if you've like canceled your subscription. You know?
Yeah.
And I'm sure they have better tools for managing that stuff now. But when it first came out and it was janky, that might have been part of the issue.
Yeah, I'm sure they're hesitant to put things on machines and have people have a way to play them, offline or whatever. Okay. Down says, I know this is a me issue with the PS Plus service, but I have hundreds of PlayStation 2, 3 games in a bookcase. Feels bad paying for them again. I get that. As long as you can actually play them.
Yeah.
Because that would be the thing for me, Downs, is if I would be able to play games that I want to play again, but I couldn't because is there backwards compatibility for PlayStation 2 and 3?
No. No, there's not a lot of backwards compatibility in the PlayStation ecosystem in general, which makes playing old games difficult. And so for some people, even if they have old games, the ease of just, purchasing a subscription to be able to play those is definitely worthwhile. Some people have no problem, they have the old hardware, they have no problem hooking that up or have a way to do so and would rather play it that way. So it just depends on the case.
We'll talk more about this coming up in the 8 o'clock hour with the Gaming Morning Show Morning Gaming Renews, a recap of the video game headlines of the day. Right now it's 7:50 West Coast time. It's 10:50 out east. It's 3:50 for those watching GMS in the UK. And thank goodness, and this was, I think I started to talk about this earlier in the show and then I stopped. It's exciting because we finally have the UK back in the regular time zone. You mentioned this yesterday and we kind of glossed over it. So yeah, how about that? Everyone's back on track with daylight savings time. Do you feel, Downs, Scott Chick, do you feel like you've actually saved on daylight? Or do you feel like it's about the same as it used to be? Like, is that like an inflation thing? It's tough to save on daylight this time of year. I hear
Daylight's not worth what it used to be.
I hear if you buy daylight in bulk, you can save money. Down says there's so much daylight. I can't wait for winter again. Scott Chick, I'm just confused as ever. Good. Okay. Happy we clarified that. All right. Today is International Mermaid Day, National Lemon Chiffon Day, Do you like lemon flavored sweet things?
Yeah, I do.
Okay. Does anyone make a? Wow, I'm blanking. Is it not marmalade?
Lemon meringue?
Yes. Wow. Do you know anyone who makes a good lemon meringue cake or pie? Pie.
Like a homemade one?
Yeah.
My wife made a lemon meringue cheesecake, so she could probably make a lemon meringue pie.
Would your wife be willing to make us a lemon chiffon cheesecake today? And you can tell Sports Talk wife it can also just be a lemon meringue cheesecake, and we'd be fine with that.
I'll pass the word. I doubt it'll happen.
Tell her it's not Hefty requesting it. Tell her chat wants it. and chat, if you would be so kind as to give Sports Talk wife like the big eyes, like the beep beep pink 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 pink. He's for you. He's for you. Really get the eyelashes in there. Pink 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 pink. Yeah, tell her Scott Chick requests it. It's not me. It's chat. All right, let's do sports.
Sport.
Yesterday, Sports.Gaming reported that for the first time in history, I think, that the women's Final Four could consist of all the number one seeds. Yesterday, UConn and Louisville joined South Carolina and Stanford. That was not a quartet of number ones, unfortunately.
4 points away.
Yeah. It was an overtime game, right?
Yeah.
Double overtime, in fact. But yeah, NC State falls to UConn 91-87. It's about time UConn got into a women's Final Four.
Yep.
Sorry to look at Michael's Michigan Wolverines lost to Louisville 62-50. So Stanford, South Carolina, UConn, and Louisville for the women's national championship. Next weekend's a lot of fun, especially if you have a chance to watch all the Final Four games and all the championship games, because now it's like 6 really meaningful games, and that's kind of the cool thing. My favorite weekends of the NCAA tournaments are the very first weekend and then the very last weekend. So the middle ones are good, but like I like for some reason the bookends of it. So yeah, there you go. What else is going on in sports? Oh, Los Angeles Angels legend Albert Pujols is going to the St. Louis Cardinals. I don't know if you knew this, but Pujols actually used to play for the Cardinals.
What?
Yeah. Back in 2011, signed with the Los Angeles Angels. In fact, had helped the Cardinals to a 2011 World Series title. Overall, 3 MVP seasons and 2 World Series championships with the Cardinals. And now he's back at 42 years old.
I'm excited for all the Cardinals fans to have to suffer through the year after year of this is the year Pujols is back.
I don't know if they're going to have that. I think they're going to have, Albert's here to say goodbye. I think Albert's actually a little bit maybe not. Ken Griffey Jr. had just so many injuries, so by the time he did go back to the Mariners, maybe that was more of a farewell tour as well. So there you go. But Albert Pujols, Angels legend, now with the Cardinals. So the NFL has changed some things about what they call the Rooney Rule. This was adopted back in 2003. They made some changes today, or Monday, I should say, to announce that they're going to enhance opportunities for people of color and women for nearly all league jobs and team jobs. Beginning this season, all 32 clubs must employ a female or a member of an ethnic or racial minority to serve as an offensive assistant coach. According to the Associated Press, the person will receive a 1-year contract and work closely with the head coach and offensive staff to gain experience. The Dateline out of Palm Beach says to ensure more opportunities for diverse candidates, the NFL has added a requirement on hiring an offensive assistant coaches and women in general. Oh, and your Buffalo Bills may have a new stadium. It's expecting to cost $1.4 billion. And state and county taxpayers are going to be asked to commit a record $850 million in public funds. This is always a tough conversation for me because I'm such a huge sports fan. that I would want my team to stay, but I acknowledge the fact that $850 million could be used to solve a lot of other more pressing problems in sports. I have a really soft spot for the Buffalo Bills. I mentioned that on the show before. They were really good when I was a kid. I want to see them be good again, and I want them to stay in Buffalo. Do I think the $850 million of public funds should go to it? I honestly don't. But I would like to find a way to keep them in Buffalo. And the problem with sports is they use things like relocating as like a bargaining chip, right? Well, fine. You don't want to put up. We'll just move to Toronto, right? Especially in a league where your owners have billions of dollars. It would be nice to see them figure out how to pay for them themselves. So I read on Twitter that the governor of New York, Kathy Hochul, Hochul, might actually be a pretty big Bills fan too. So this could be circumstance for why this might be happening. Quiet, just an egregious use of taxpayer money. The economics in new stadiums also show it really doesn't recover those costs. I have heard that before. I have one little sidebar. It seems like in the NFL, if you build a new stadium, you get a Super Bowl. Could you imagine a Super Bowl in Western New York? If it actually snows, I would love to see a Super Bowl in the snow.
That'd be fun.
Any sports that you had bookmarked?
No, just Flames play tonight.
Your
Excited for that.
Calgary Flames. This is an exciting game. I'm actually pretty amped for this. Do you want to try to get together?
Yeah. Maybe. I have no idea what we're doing tonight.
I also don't know how healthy everyone is either. I'll wear a mask.
Yeah.
Your Calgary Flames take on the Avalanche. This game's in Calgary. This is the top two teams in the Western Conference. So I'm excited to see. Last time the Flames were this good, they're probably not going to get the number one seed. But last time they were this good in the Western Conference, they got gentlemen swept by the Colorado Avalanche. So in the playoffs. So
that's bad.
Brendan is here. Good morning to you, Brendan. Thanks for being here. Look, it's Mike O is checking in to say the Mets won. Oh, they sure did. Well, would you look at that? The Mets did win. Wait, I don't actually see them. Where are the Mets? The Mets didn't play it. You lied to me.
Got him.
Unless it was like a split squad game or something. The American League equivalent of the Mets, the Yankees won 11-7 over Detroit.
I don't think they're equivalent.
Oh, yeah, same team. Same team. Your Seattle Kraken. Okay. Chris M.E., Kings apologist, said the Kings took the night off. It may seem that way. It lost 6-1 at Crypto.com Arena.
Eesh.
Wow. Okay.
Eesh.
Hey, the good news, though, is Chris M.E.'s Los Angeles Kings still very much in the playoff hunt. 81 points. Two better than the Edmonton Oilers. So. Look, it's Michael. Don't you dare say that. Ever again. All right. There is your sports. Next hour, we will play some community games. I assume everyone would prefer to play Don't Let the Person Floating from the Balloons Fall in the Monster's Mouth. However, I do want to say that yesterday we played that game. Everyone seemed a little less enthusiastic about it.
They're just out of practice. Start. Yeah. Start getting your letters ready in your mind right now. You have like 25 minutes.
I propose an alternative. We could play Google Feud.
Ooh.
Pink, pink. Okay, everyone's doing letters already. All right, fine. We'll play Don't Let the Person Floating from the Balloons Fall in the Monster's Mouth. Also, Gaming Morning Show, Morning Gaming Renews, Clip of the Day, Takeaways that were pretty okay. It's all coming up. Final hour of Gaming Morning Show. It is Tuesday, March 29th, 2022.
in chains. All this time with you, I took the pain. Knew that it was wrong to stay. So I told myself I'd walk away. I think I'm ready now, ready now, ready now. And I'm so over you dragging me down. Just wanna let it out, let it out, let it out. Feel so free, gonna shout it out loud. Without you, I'm limitless. There's nothing that you could do to break my spirit or shatter the silence. Oh, I'm telling you that I am fearless. Without you, I'm limitless. There's nothing that you could do to break my spirit or shatter the silence. Oh, I'm telling you that I am fearless. I am fearless. I am fearless. I am fearless. It's like a battle every day. Burning as we watch our feelings fade. You always made it my mistake. Promise myself I'm not to blame. I think I'm ready now, ready now, ready now. And I'm so over you dragging me down. Just wanna let it out, let it out, let it out. Feel so free, gonna shout it out loud. Without you, I'm limitless. There's nothing that you could do to break my spirit or shatter the silence. Oh, I'm telling you that I am fearless. Without you, I'm limitless. There's nothing that you could do to break my spirit or shatter the silence. Oh, I'm telling you that I am fearless. I am fearless. I am Felt like I was stuck in chains. All this time with you, I took the pain. Knew that it was wrong to stay. So I told myself I'd walk away. I think I'm ready now, ready now, ready now. And I'm so over you dragging me down.
Wienerina, such an unusual dog, so spooky and long. Wienerina, with the wag of her tail, on wings she set sail through the night. She'd like to play with the other ones, but she's frightened of the sun. All she wants is a little love and a little bit of blood. Wienerina, at midnight digging up bones with her pet snake Ramon. Wienerina, her doghouse looks like a tomb. By the light of the moon, she sneaks out. She'd like to fetch a ball and play, but the children see her and they run away. Hear her barking in the night. All she wants is love and a little bite. Wienerina.
It's a game that I'm willing to play.
Coming soon from GMS. GMS plays Fudge Village. And the Superphonic Memorial Super Gig, a concert, starring Sports Gaming. Follow GMS on Twitter and Discord for more details. To quote Cade Zaid, Stardew Valley sucks all the time. Sports Gaming, also GMS Head of Facilities and Technology. Put it on a pancake. Coming up on Gaming Morning Show, community games. Don't let the person hanging from the balloons fall into the monster's mouth. And GMS, Morning Gaming Renews. Get ready for your takeaways that were pretty okay. And the clip of the day. Join our Discord and become a Patreon. Go to gms.watch and click on where to find GMS. Time for hour number 3. Right now.
Morning, gamer. Welcome in. It's Gaming Morning Show, the Tuesday edition on March 29th, 2022. We are on Facebook Gaming, Twitch, YouTube, Twitter, and at gamingmorningshow.tv. That's our website. We do have, I think, the final pieces of our Twitter Spaces setup good to go. So I think you'll be able to listen to the show on Twitter Spaces every single day, and we will archive them to play back as kind of our beta test for a podcast recap of the show, if you will, like a listen on demand type thing. So if you would be so kind as to go to twitter.com/watchgms and just let us know how it sounds on your end today, that would mean a lot to us. It seems to be doing pretty okay, but you just never know until you get feedback. So we can always have you listen today. We'll also put it on tomorrow, and you can give us some feedback. We are at WatchGMS on Twitter Spaces. Sports.gaming on the left side of your screen. Yeah, I forgot that you are also our head of facilities and technology, which, again, today kind of proved itself, considering the fact that, you know, you had to troubleshoot your own setup. So
Yeah, that fits. That checks out. I've become a master at relocating my setup in a flash.
Did you have to move it again today?
Nope. No, I've just done it a lot.
Yeah, no, you have, and that's why you're head of facilities.
Yeah. No, it's
So
normal location today. Maybe, I think I scooted my chair slightly to the left.
Oh, you can tell. That's why you're closer to Bear's good shoulder.
Welcome to good shoulder.
Look, it's Maiko's on vacation in Florida. Says things could be going better. Well, I hope it goes as well as it possibly can. It's great to have you in chat today. We will play Don't Let the Person Floating from the Balloons Fall in the Monster's Mouth later today. That's fine.
Woo!
Shouldn't be that excited.
Woo!
Whatever. This is Miss Theo singing. You can find Miss Theo and So Good, the single from Miss Theo, at her Instagram. I am Miss Theo. Reiki master, musician, photographer, egg roll extraordinaire. Has this like great thing that she does on the weekends, making pizzas and stuff. Like, she's just all over the place in Southern California. So go and support Miss Theo by listening to Miss Theo's song. You can also get Dr. Squatch soap very easily by subscribing to Look It's Maiko on Twitch. That doesn't come with any specific Dr. Squatch stuff, but what that does is take you to Look It's Maiko's page, and there you can click a link, and that link takes you to the Dr. Squatch website. And when you use promo code DiscBrick10 on your first purchase, you save money, and you can smell like delicious pine tar, which is a heavy grit soap that's available, and it comes in these cool little square boxes. Rumor has it, Sean, you might be able to confirm, that if you take the soap out of the box and take it to the shower, it works really well.
It gets all over your body.
We also have
that one gets in your hair.
yeah, this is a conditioner, Cool Citrus. It's men's natural conditioner. It has shea butter, avocado oil, and menthol in it. Told that the menthol invigorates, cools, and soothes the scalp. Anyway, yeah, you can get a subscription to this stuff too.
How did they get the butter out of the stadium?
Because it's shea butter. Fun fact, look, it's Mike O actually tried to get his daughter named Shay, and look, its wife O put the kibosh on that. So.
It's too bad.
The Yankees of Queens. I do too.
We never heard from Mike.
Just
again.
kidding. Just kidding, Mike. Coming up, we'll have Deer Gang Watch 2020. Deer Gang Watch is a look at all the chaos that deer are committing across the landscape of the United States. So, Deer Gang Watch comes your way later on this hour. That is what we're tracking at this hour. So. Scott Chick, nice shot. Scott Chick says, random question, is shea butter toilet paper a thing over there?
Not that I know of.
I do not recall Scott Chick ever putting shea butter toilet paper into my touche. But it could be. Scott Chick, I have a follow-up question for you. Is shea butter toilet paper a thing over there? Well, Mike and I have conflicting opinions. Choose your own adventure. This goes back to works better than in the box for sure. Maiko says it works better if you keep it in the box and then bring it into the shower and rub the box on you. Interesting. But, Sean, that actually makes sense because, look, there's a little hole on the Dr. Squatch soap and it says smell the Squatch. But I bet that's also a little application circle.
That's how the clean gets out.
Mm-hmm. DrSquatch.com. It is indeed something over there, says Scott Chick. And how do you like shea butter toilet paper? I'm going to be honest, did not see shea butter toilet paper being a topic today.
No, that's a new one to me.
Quote, it's very soft for the booty. It's good.
Hey, do any of you know a pirate's favorite letter?
I'm guessing.
Huh?
This is because someone said booty.
Is it R?
You'd think it was R, but their first love is the sea.
That makes sense. It's clear to see. Being told that it smells good too, so it's very soft for the booty, smells good. They also have aloe in TP form as well.
That sounds soothing.
Do I need to get up and look at the Charmin and see if it has more aloe or shea butter than I realize?
No, I could guarantee they don't have anything nice like that in our toilet paper.
Okay. We don't care as much about our booties, apparently. But honestly, I never had thought about the smell of toilet paper either.
True.
Michael goes, it's not available in the U.S. We don't put anything but oof on our TP here in the U.S. Oh, nice play. I'm not the best netminder, am I right?
right by you.
Huh, we cannot get sent. I like how that might be what the, I don't know if that's an FDA thing or what, but I like how that's the thing that they're like, okay, listen, we can use chemicals to make our maraschino cherries as pink as possible, but we're drawing the line at having scented toilet paper in the U.S.
Never.
Never gonna happen. Oh, but because Look It's Myco is here now, earlier in the day, we played a game against Look It's Rico.
Ooh.
Rico doesn't use their last initial, but Look It's Rico did score. We also played alongside Dad.
Glad we finally got to play a game with Dad. He's just so busy all the time.
Cats in the cradle and the silver spoon. You can use a bidet and load it up with nice spraying things. Oh, I didn't know about that. So you can get a bidet and then it can have like a scent. I didn't know that.
Sounds nice.
Oh, Chris has a point. Maybe we didn't play with Rico. We played with Look It's Rick O. Oh, Downs was going with Rico as well. Look, it's Reek O. Cracks. Matt, everyone was on that same wavelength. Quiet. Are you sure it wasn't just a typo and his first name is Rick? Thank you, Protege K-Laugh. Downs, no one wants to remember Game of Thrones. I was listening to Iron Lords podcast, which is on YouTube, and they were talking about the Halo series on Paramount Plus, which Kate Zaid also has a YouTube video out, youtube.com/Kate Zaid, I imagine, and talked about like the reactions to the first episode of the Halo series. And one of the folks on the Iron Lords podcast said that allegedly the Halo series has the same kind of like budget as Game of Thrones, and for that they were seeking out more CGI, like higher quality CGI than what they felt like was in the first Halo episode. Have you watched the first episode yet?
I have. And I would not guess that they had the same budget.
Wow.
There were some interesting decisions made in terms of like the CGI and the just general look of the show. Like at one point, Master Chief throws a gun down, and it looks like I could have created that in like After Effects.
Ouch.
It did not look good.
Wow, get wrecked, Halo series.
Parts of it looked good, but parts were quite, I don't know, unimpressive. But I had assumed like, oh, maybe they didn't have like a big budget, and then it's like, oh, well, that's fine. It looked good for like not having the biggest of CGI budgets.
Was the CGI in Game of Thrones good?
I have no idea. I never watched that show.
Chat. Also, Chris, were you not a fan of like Game of Thrones in general, or just the final season? Because all the criticism I heard of the GOT series was related around the final season, not anything more. So interesting. Protege K-Laugh says silently stashes away the GOT banners hanging in his room. Nothing to see here. I thought some of the CGI looked really janky, said Downs, but I thought this was the feel they were going for.
Yeah, it was interesting,
Okay.
for sure. And I watched it on my phone, and I kind of wanted to rewatch it, or at least watch the next episode on my TV. And
Yeah, that
see
can sometimes
how
make
it
a
looks.
So, it didn't look great. The aliens were neat, though, said Look, It's Myco. Brendan goes, it gives me Battlestar Galactica vibes. that some of its looks are just a little wibbly wobbly, but still entertaining. Pretty good summary.
Yeah. My worry with it being such a like high profile show and being, the Lost TV, or not the Lost, the Halo TV show, is I was expecting the first episode to come out and be, this is going to be the best series ever. I thought it was going to be really good. And being someone who never was really into Halo, watching it, it was very like, this is a very stereotypical sci-fi show. It's not terrible, but it was very like, this is fine. And my worry is if it's starting at that, like, this is fine level, like, are they going to get better from here? Because usually I'd expect you to come out hot on the pilot and then it kind of settles into where it's going to be. If it settles at all, it's not going to be very good, in my opinion.
Also, the CGI is a little wibbly wobbly, but it doesn't fall down. You knew I was going to get there.
Yep.
Let's play Don't Let the Person Floating from the Balloons Fall in the Monster's Mouth. We'll keep talking about Halo and GOT here in a little bit. I also have a weird kind of sci-fi thing that happened with watching Liar Liar the other day. I'll share that coming up on the other side of our community games. If you would like to play, start putting letters into chat, and if you want to know the record...
To see the record for the most balloons banked in Don't Let the Person Floating from the Balloons Fall in the Monster's Mouth, remember to type the easy-to-remember acronym, ! DLTPFFTBFITMMREC.
All right, toys and games is your first category. We have banked 37 balloons over the course of a couple of days of playing this. And we had a really good day yesterday. What was it? Probably 18-ish balloons that we banked. Mm-hmm. So
yeah, yesterday was top notch.
Yeah, we have a U from Brendan and then a 5 from Look It's Maiko. I thought it was an S and I was all excited.
S.
Yeah, it wasn't. So, Hopscotch is the guess from K-Laugh's Understudy is what I was about to say.
K-Laugh Jr.
No, we cannot call Quiet K-Laugh Jr. That's awful. I mean, it's not awful, but it's...
K-Laugh the second.
Ooh, Light Bright's a good guess if it was 2 words, so.
R.
Bob guesses R.
Good pirate.
Quiet Time Gaming is saying K-Laugh Light. Hello to you, Keith. K-Laugh-ish. O from Brendan. Man, we're going to lose on toys and games, aren't we?
Yep.
We have a lot of vowels on the board. I'm going to go E. Oh, gosh.
A.
Okay, the A hit. Mousetrap wasn't a bad guess, but it was not it. N from Quiet, and we're dead.
Wow. All right. Well, guess I'll go.
Well, I guess we can play Google Feud now, because everyone really wanted to play that.
Google Feud.
They just didn't want to admit it. It sucks.
My day, it's ruined.
269 balloons will remain our record. Oh, would you look at that? Huh. Google Feud's here. Look at that. Oh, it's the wrong scene, though. There we go.
Which Google Feud is it?
It's the new Google Feud. So, for example, if Noah's Ark has 246,000 monthly searches, YouTube would be higher, right? We'd all agree on that. That'd be like 1.6 billion. Okay. And then liposuction would be lower, right, at 201,000. So now the question is, what gets more average monthly searches? Columbia, higher or lower searches than liposuction's 201,000? While you think about that, Keith is wondering what you're eating.
They're cashews, but this cashew looks suspiciously like a Girl Scout cookie.
Cashews and Girl Scout cookies.
But mostly cashews.
Name of my band in high school. Have you opened a drink yet today?
Nope.
All right. It's fine.
Correct.
All right, Colombia or North Korea? Colombia had 1 million average monthly searches. Now we're asking North Korea. Higher or lower in terms of monthly searches? Downs is guessing the exact same. Wouldn't that be something if
It's
there's
happened before.
Wouldn't that be something if there's a little itty bitty button between higher and lower that we could push and no one knew about it?
If you click the space between them, it actually locks in your equals answer.
The space between higher and lower will have you coming right back to Gaming Morning Show.
Oof.
Space. I'm gonna go higher.
Yeah, I think that's where everyone's heading.
Narrowly, 1 million for Colombia, 9.1 million for North Korea. Narrowly. Narrowly. Everton has higher or lower searches than North Korea.
That's gotta be lower.
Lots of lowers.
Look, it's Mike O has said lower and higher.
Hedge your bets. Everton, 1.83 million searches, so we're pretty okay. We are up to 5. Our high score all time is 10, for what it's worth. And now we're asking you, higher or lower, Gareth Bale. While we figure this out, Sports.Gaming will give you all the information you need about Gareth Bale, an oral history from Sports.Gaming.
Gareth Bale was born to Garrett and Beth Bale. I see what you did. From a young age, he was in love with the game of cricket. But when he entered high school, he had a career-ending right hand injury, ruining his cricket career. And his assistant cricket coach was like, "Have you ever thought of this?"
Oh,
small
time's up.
start-"
We've guessed higher. Sorry, that was a great oral history. Higher, I think, is what people are guessing. We lost.
Higher, huh? I was gonna go lower.
Oh my gosh! Oh, the pain. Hyundai. Go to Hyundai.com. Okay. We finished with. Oh, I guess I clicked on the Hyundai. Go shop for a Hyundai. I don't even know what we finished with. So. Hyundai.com.
We won a Hyundai?
Oh, there it is. We had 5.
It's not bad.
So. Yeah.
Big fan of Gareth.
GMS brought to you by Hyundai. I mean, listen, I drive a Hyundai. It's a Kia, but it's a Hyundai, so. I have to look. Someone said, did Ryan hit lower? Okay. No, I did hit higher. Because if I hit lower, we would have won. All right. Sean's got to go do doctor stuff. You going to have a good day or a bad day? What are you thinking?
Right in the middle of the road. We're going to go for average.
The space between. We'll have to show you. We got video of the cat repractor.
Yeah, we did.
It's from one of our viewers. We'll have to share that with you at some point. It's very, very adorable.
It's pretty good.
All right, everyone say goodbye to Sean and Bear. You go do your doctor stuff. We'll miss you. Goodbye. Goodbye, Sean. Goodbye. Oh, he just usually does something fun like sachets out. He just hung up. Boo. It's 8:32 now. West Coast, 11:32 out east. It is 4:32 for those watching GMS in the UK. Look, it's Mike. I should get a microphone for my iPhone so I can jump in. Mike, you're supposed to be on vacation. You're supposed to not worry about work when you're on vacation. And it's tough. You know, I was flattered when Mike said he missed us on vacation in Florida. Although, Mike said that, and then Mike later on tweeted out a picture of him by a pool that had palm trees next to it. So I think Florida's a little bit more okay than you're leaning into. So
Plenty of air in here. No need to worry.
Mike, when are you going to come touch my stang? Asked Quiet. Yeah. When are you going to go touch Quiet stang? I need a pub sub. What are you doing tomorrow evening? Ooh, we're making connections. This is the online streaming version of Tinder. It's pretty enjoyable.
Anyone need a good spritzing?
Even Bob's on board. All right, coming up, Deer Gang Watch 2020. We will give you the update on what's happening with deer in a Wisconsin pub. That's on the way. Earlier today, we told you about a woman in Illinois who kept getting unwanted shoe deliveries because the Chinese vendor that was using Amazon to deliver shoes had Simone, that was her name, had Simone as the address for the return of these shoes that people were buying online. So that was pretty funny. We also told you about Bex, the Kawasaki rideable robot goat. And that led us into a list from listverse.com of 10 robots that were made, one of which was made with a chainsaw to eat vegetation, and the other one that had a Glock pistol built into it. So there definitely been some interesting robots made that had, for some reason, weapons built into them. None of them were used for Robot Wars, though. So, interestingly enough. Right now, tomorrow evening, Quiet has nothing going on. So we may have a Look It's Mike O and Quiet I Am Gaming meetup in Florida. It could happen. Oh, did I bring... Oh, no, he did disconnect. It's like, oh, no, did I bring Sports.gaming into this game? Send me your address. See see how far. Oh, no, and the Mike has a child with a fever of 104, and we're hanging out until we make sure it's not COVID. Oh, I'm sorry, Mike. That makes sense why you're not going as well as you had hoped. Quiam Gaming, sure, I don't mind driving out to you since you're already here. Yeah, if you could just write your address, that would be perfect. Just put it out there for everybody. Yeah, I mean, it is almost noon in Florida, so if you were probably going out, you'd be out already. Kate Zaid, last I checked, killer robots are a violation of international law. Yeah, this robot had a chainsaw, and it was called Eater. It was like energetically something, something, something robot. And EATR was its acronym. And it was funny because the Listverse author who wrote that back in 2018 was basically saying, like, hey, this robot could, like, churn and start eating humans. Or could devour flesh with its chainsaw teeth. But then we got to the one with the Glock pistol, and I didn't get the same impression that there were as many concerns about the one that had the pistol in it. But I could be wrong. So, who knows? Who knows? But we shared that list with you. We can put it on our Twitter later at WatchGMS. So, there was a robot war that was not simulated, but was competed. There was a competition between the U.S. and Japan, and they had made a couple of robots for that too. But the one with the pistol kind of bothers me. We were supposed to go to Animal Kingdom today, but they were awesome and let us switch to Wednesday when it's going to be exponentially hotter. Well, that's really cool, though. I'm talking about becoming a licensed travel agent. And one of the things that we were talking about is the fact that when you do go through a travel agent, sometimes you have a better chance to get things changed like that without having to put in as much of the work yourself, which made sense to me, because it seemed like for a long time that travel agencies were kind of a lost art. But what I learned since going through a trip that we took a couple years ago is that basically any of the online booking sites that aren't directly from the company, you know, if you're getting hotels from Marriott.com or you're buying flights on Delta.com or whatever, like Expedia is basically a travel agent. Any of the markups that exist for a travel agent likely exist on Expedia, which kind of surprised me. Anyway, point being, is the nice thing though is if you book online through like an Expedia, you don't have any like backup. Whereas apparently travel agents like take care of a lot of that stuff for you. So it's really exciting to hear that you were able to call on your own and just they took care of you, because that's like the customer service that you'd expect or hope for from a place like that. So positive thoughts to your kiddo. 104 degrees, and hopefully it is not COVID. And you two will be, or you, I don't remember how many of them there are out there, that you'll be able to get back out there, even though it'll be exponentially hotter. So, Keith, a friend of mine has been on annual leave from work, and he told me it's not going well for him. He got in car trouble, broke down on the side of the street, and now is tested positive for COVID. I'm sorry to hear that. What's annual leave from work? Like, each year you get a certain amount of time where you don't have to work? Is that a perk of the company, or is that a perk of, like, the way work works over there? We walked right up to the gate at Animal Kingdom and asked, and they were awesome. Hey, I've had that happen, not, Animal Kingdom, obviously, but I always like to write a thank you note or send, like a gift card or something to companies when they do stuff like that, even though I'm sure I shouldn't do that because it's supposed to be expected, right? But I just think it's great, especially when there's a specific person who just takes care of you. I love that. I always ask, like, what's your name? And even if I send, a gift card or something like that and it ends up getting used by somebody else, which is not ideal, I'd still rather do that because it just makes me think that they're getting kind of above and beyond for just being kind, even though, again, I think that probably should be a baseline that I should just expect. It's like a paid holiday. Well, that's fun. I get 8 hours of annual leave a month. I work 10-hour days, so I guess that's a day, less than a day of annual leave a month. Oh, you get it per month? But is it, when you say annual leave, is that like paid time off, or is that like almost like a sabbatical? You get an allocated amount of time per tax year as paid holiday. Okay. I'm just trying to equate it, because there's some places that call it vacation days. There's some places that call it PTO, and then some lump all their PTO in the same thing. It's very convoluted. No wonder people get confused. So to say thank you to Disney, I will give them $2,740. That's nice of you, Michael. So unexpected. I hope everyone's having a great International Mermaid Day. It's National Lemon Chiffon Day, Niagara Falls Runs Dry Day, PayDay at Forward Day, World Piano Day, National Mom and Pop Business Owners Day, and it is National Nevada Day and National Vietnam War Veterans Day. So, today's topic of the day, PlayStation Plus Extra launch. We'll have the Gaming Morning Show Morning Gaming Renews coming up in about 10 minutes from now. And we're asking you, how do you feel about subscription-based gaming? So if you're celebrating International Mermaid Day, please let us know what you are doing to celebrate. Also, Elder Scrolls Online Ascending Tide came out today. We had resident EO expert, our ESO expert, Jordy Jasper on. And Jordy told us all about that, so that's pretty exciting. Good morning to Rob Kovacs. Saw the goal that was scored by me on our own team. It is kind of funny that it's World Piano Day, and Rob, who's an excellent piano player, is here. Rob, I didn't mention, too, I think you mentioned you've done dueling pianos before. Dueling pianos is one of my favorite things. In fact, right before the pandemic, 2020, my birthday's in the summertime. That was going to be my birthday plan of choice, was going to be going to a dueling piano bar in Portland. And I was going to have everyone come with me, and then we couldn't. We did have, though, this, which was pretty exciting. This came your way from our good friend Look It's Mike O, because Look It's Mike O knows how to do the ninja rap from Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles 2, The Secret of the Ooze. The last piano bar that I went to was in an area by Washington, D.C., and the person was able to play the ninja rap. So that's my fun little piano story for you. So good morning to you, Rob. Anyone who wants to chime in, how do you feel about the subscription gaming landscape? Please let us know in the chat. This is your story that we're tracking at this hour. Look, it's Mike O is on vacation, so we are tracking for you here in the home studio. Deer Gang Watch 2020 from Ben Hooper of UPI. A herd of deer overrun a Wisconsin pub, and one smashes through a window. Man, the deer are still causing just chaos all over the place. A Wisconsin bar had shared a video of the moment a herd of deer overran a patio outside the bar. One of the animals crashed into the pub through a window. Dublin's Irish pub in Oshkosh, I've been to Oshkosh, had photos on Facebook showing a mess of broken glass left behind by, quote, an unexpected guest that decided to use our window as the entrance. The bar later posted an update. Review of security camera footage showed deer hadn't acted alone. The video shows an entire herd of deer vaulting over a short wall and overrunning the pub's patio seating area when one of the animals leaps right through the window and shattered it. The pub said the deer dispersed within seconds of arriving at the business. Man, we've seen deer run through like emergency exits. They're just all over the place. Here, if you want to watch that video, there's the story from UPI. Keith goes, is PlayStation Plus Extra available in the UK? In the UK! Not as of yet. It's going to be a launch. It starts in Asia, and then we'll go to North America, Europe, and some other places. We'll tell you about that coming up in about 5 minutes with the Gaming Morning Show, Morning Gaming Renews. Get ready for your takeaways that were pretty okay. What is something you learned from today's Gaming Morning Show? And then we will send you somewhere if you are watching on Twitch. Rob is a former guest of GMS After Dark and GMS Weekend Edition. Rob, when is your next stream? Also, speaking of COVID, as Look It's Mike O talked about, there's concern on this Florida vacation of his that someone may have COVID. GDC, which happened in San Francisco, I know Rob was down there, has apparently had quite a little outbreak of COVID. So hopefully you're doing okay, and everyone else who was at GDC as well. So. Keith goes, I learned Sean's a doctor and eats cashews for breakfast. Yeah, Sean was having quite the interesting breakfast. Sean, who Bob gave a new title to this morning.
Sports Gaming, also GMS Head of Facilities and Technology.
Had to do some troubleshooting in the technology department because things were not working at Sports Gaming's studio today. And ended up probably having a late breakfast because he spent like an hour troubleshooting things. Turns out that he chose cashews and Thin Mint Girl Scout cookies. Which, it's not a bad breakfast. You get a little protein from the cashews, I imagine. I assume most nuts have protein. And then some chocolate from the Thin Mints. So, I was really proud of myself, and I shared this on my Twitter, at Hefty Goof. I finally just got through the good Girl Scout cookies, because Thin Mints are not one of my favorite Girl Scout cookies. They're good, don't get me wrong. They're just not one of my favorites. And I finally got through like the Samoas and the Tagalongs, which are my two favorite types. I finally got through those after about a month, which is probably the longest I've let the Girl Scout cookies hang out before eating them all. So now I am on to the Thin Mints, and those will probably go pretty quickly because, I don't know. There's something about the Thin Mints that feel like almost crackery to me, which sounds weird to say. But, like, I eat Thin Mints in, like, batches of 7. So, yeah. Nice. Yeah, lots of people are taking unmasked selfies, getting all up in arms about and grief about it, and now an outbreak. Surprise, surprise. Well, and I know that I saw that some folks, and Rob, if you want to speak to this firsthand, I saw that they had, like, ways you could give an indication of, like, how comfortable you were with, like, getting close to people at GDC, which I'm sure is something that most in-person conferences are going to have to get a handle on going forward. But it sounds like there were some instances, I saw specifically one on Twitter, and I don't know if it's been verified, right? It's one person saying one thing, where there was a person who was COVID positive who attended a get-together off-site and was unmasked. And so I think that the important thing, too, is, like, just trying to take care of one another at this point is going to be paramount, because I don't think, it seems, the trend is not going to be to have more government shutdowns and such. So, yeah, so we had our good friend Look It's Maiko, who, again, on vacation in Florida, found this really cool alligator or crocodile, because it sounds like it's not sure which one it is, if Maiko is being honest. But it was really long and skinny. Like, I'd always perceived almost every alligator / crocodile to be, like, really short, stout, and, like, wide. And this one was ultra thin and, like, snake-like. It was really cool, to be honest. You can find it, Look It's Maiko on Twitter, and we've also shared it at WatchGMS. And so, Look It's Maiko named that alligator after Sean. So, which isn't bad. Hopefully we can figure it out. Someone I was hanging out with fairly closely has COVID. Crossing fingers I don't get it. I hope that's the case for you, Rob. And same with you, Look It's Maiko. I'm hoping that 104-degree fever is always concerning. But we'll see. And again, it was super nice of the Animal Kingdom folks to extend your ticket, so I'm happy about that. Keith, why did I think Girl Scout cookies were made by Girl Scouts and sold door to door, like on the movies, or am I being serious? No, that's actually how they are sold. So I got mine from one of my former co-workers' kiddos, has been selling them, like, kind of cornered the market. If you're looking at it from a purely, like, sales standpoint, not fundraiser, but you're just like, how do you corner the market in Girl Scout cookies? The key is to find one office where you can literally corner the market. And it's funny because I worked in athletics, so we had a whole bunch of coaches who were in the office. And a lot of our coaches were not parents yet. And so there was definitely, like, a market to be cornered, which was awesome for, you know, the Girl Scout. And one of the other coaches' kids is now of Girl Scout age and was like, I'll just take her to work. And the coach who already has the kid who's selling the Girl Scout cookies to us, you know, for the last few years, was like, not a chance. This is my turf. And told him, he's like, you'll have to wait till we're done with Girl Scouts. It's like, ooh, animosity. Dun, dun, dun. So yeah, Keith, you're absolutely right. That's how Girl Scout cookies. Although they have an online portal now. So we were able to get, you know, everyone's working remotely, right? Well, not everyone. We were working remotely. And I got an email from the coach and was like, hey, if you want to order your Girl Scout cookies, go to this website. And it was great. I just punched in my credit card information and boom, Girl Scout cookies. I didn't have to worry about filling out a paper form or anything. It was just, bam, Girl Scout cookies. I wish they had that year round, to be honest. Rob says there are lots of private parties too at bars and such with basically no masks as people are drinking. Yeah, and honestly, that's the part about, you know, I give Josh Wallstormer, a friend from Intelligame, all the credit in the world, because Josh found a way to enjoy a lot of what Josh likes about a GDC, but stayed home, was able to say, okay, well, I can't go, I don't want to go, it's still too risky for me, what can I do? And had a really cool thing called IntelliGDC, and you can watch a lot of those VODs still on Twitch. But did a great thing. It was really an interesting kind of online conference, right? But the part about conventions that I really like is, like I talked about, going to the piano bar and hanging out with people until 2 in the morning. Like, that was a lot of fun. And until I feel comfortable going back into that setting where there is eating and drinking, I probably won't go to too many conventions, which really sucks, because part of what I think GMS can do is to be at conventions and have some fun doing that. So we'll figure that out. But right now I'm still not good with it yet. The convention itself, everyone was masked. Well, I hope it limited the spread for sure. Lucas Michael, no one in Florida wears masks. Stores are super packed with no mask people. Yeah. It's right now in the Pacific Northwest, Oregon specifically. I see a lot of kind of 50-50. And I live in more of an area of Oregon, especially Western Oregon, where there's probably more unmasked folks than there is in other places of the state. Brendan, there are dozens of photos of unmasked people at GDC and not off-site. Not everyone was behaving. I think that that's to be expected, to be honest. Not right, in my opinion, but to be expected. So we will all meet up at conventions eventually. Yes, I hope that that is the case, because I can't wait till that can happen. All right, it's time for the Gaming Morning Show Morning Gaming Renews. This recap of the video game headlines of the day. If you missed any of it, you can go to our Twitter, usually, and search GMS Morning Gaming News. We do this in the 6 o'clock hour with our hashtag video game expert, Sean. Unfortunately, Sean had those internet issues, so I was making up the GMS Morning Gaming News on the fly, and I'm not smart with video games. I'm not even like Vice video game expert quality. I'm like not even like Secretary of Defense. I'm not smart. So I just did the best that I could. So here are the stories that I told you about, hoping that they're still open on my phone. Crap. They aren't. Oh, here's one. This is from Marcus Stewart of Game Informer. Jesse Buckley is going to star in the Dark Pictures anthology, The Devil in Me. This is a story from yesterday. The Dark Pictures anthology, The Devil in Me, has an upcoming installment in Supermassive Games' collection of horror movies that's called The Devil in Me. And Jesse Buckley will star as Kate Wilder in the series. Devil in Me follows a documentary film crew that gets involved to explore a replica of the home of America's first serial killer named the Murder Castle, and things get dangerous very quickly. So that's one thing that happened so far today. Marcus Stewart of Game Informer gives you that story. What else did we tell you about today? To the history. To the history. We had a story about Apex Legends. This one's up my wheelhouse. Did I just say up my wheelhouse? This is in my wheelhouse. I don't know if I want it up my wheelhouse. That sounds not pleasant. This one's in my wheelhouse. Anyway, Apex Legends, according to Ollie Welsh of Polygon, says Apex Legends next-gen versions will come out with the Warriors Collection event. This is going to give PS5 and Xbox Series X users 4K visuals at 60 FPS, HDR visuals, and improved shadows, plus draw distances. The Xbox Series S version will get HDR. According to Welsh, gameplay at 120 Hz is listed as, quote, coming in future updates, end quote, to all next-gen consoles. The Warriors Collection event, if you're a PlayStation user, there are some updates. Here's what you have to do if you have a PS5, according to the Apex Legends Twitter account. In order to be able to play it, you have to navigate to the game hub for Apex Legends on the dashboard. Press the options button and select version and choose the PS5 version to update the next-gen version. If you have an Xbox Series X, it just happens automatically. Figure PlayStation could do better. So there you go. There's some information about the Warriors Collection event and how that'll affect next-gen consoles from Ollie Welsh of Polygon. And last but not least, we told you the story today of what's going on with this new PlayStation Plus Extra So there's now PlayStation Plus Essential. That is basically what PlayStation Plus has been up to this point. 2 monthly downloads, exclusive discounts, cloud storage, and online multiplayer access. It'll still cost $10 a month. So there's that. Then there's now PlayStation Plus Extra. You get all the essential stuff, but in addition to that, a catalog of 400 of the most enjoyable PS4 and PS5 games, including blockbuster hits from the PlayStation Studios catalog and third-party partners. This is going to cost $15 a month, so this is going to be the same price point as what Xbox Game Pass Ultimate is, at least last I purchased it, which was just a couple months ago. So there you go. Extra tier are downloadable for play. Games in the extra tier are downloadable for play. Then there's PlayStation Plus Premium, which adds up to 340 additional games, including PS3 games available via cloud gaming and a catalog of beloved classic games available in both streaming and download options for the original PlayStation, PS2, and PSP. And that's going to be $18 a month. And then there's like a deluxe version. I don't like the price points. If I'm PlayStation, and I'm not good at probably charging what things are worth, but if you have Xbox Game Pass Ultimate for $14.99 a month, and I have not, this is honest to you, chat, I have not heard a single person look at me and say, you know that Game Pass? It is not worth it. Don't get it. Anyone who's had Game Pass, who has used it, like, I've not heard anything but raving reviews. So if I'm Sony, I'm saying, all right, we're second to market, and on paper, it doesn't seem like it comes with anything too exciting except old games. Even the $15 a month one, I don't know. Like, I saw Mortal Kombat 11 was probably in the list. Some of the PlayStation Plus games from old. And maybe that's why I'm having a hard time wrapping my head around it, because I've already had PlayStation Plus, right? I would have come in at a lower price point. So, anyway, thanks, chat, for talking about it. This is the blog post from PlayStation that I'll put in the chat, but I don't know. It just seems like an odd way to enter the market. So, there you go. Brendan says, I had people who used it for just a few months and said they got their fill and they would consider coming back later. But I never had anyone say Game Pass sucks. Exactly. Yeah, I get the impression that, like, Game Pass has been satisfying. So, Quiet, yeah, Game Pass is really good, although I hope they fix the bug where it just eats your hard drive space. Oh, maybe then that's why there might be value for doing the cloud thing. So, all right, if Rob is still here, Rob's going to be streaming later today. We always invite our musician friends to provide us a clip of the day jingle, okay? It goes thusly, to quote Claire Witchbaby, who used to sing a follower song every time he went to Claire's stream. It's the clip of the day. The clip of the day. Hey, look. It's the clip of the day. Toot toot. Why did I think Michael K? Is everything okay up here today? Oh my gosh.
I don't think so.
I don't think so either. Well, in my defense, because you had to do tech support this morning, I was by myself for about an hour, so maybe I used all the good brain space that I have, and all that's left is the miscellaneous category.
You wasted the good surprise on
You wasted the good surprise on you. It's one of the best lines ever. I think Protege K-Laugh. It even sounds like a big official title. Do we have a deal? Quiet? We can sign the contract later. This can be a verbal agreement. Did I just say K-Laugh?
No, I think you said quiet.
Can we have a replay, please? All right, there you go. I'm happy that we got the clip of the day to be a replay. I did say, Quiet I Am Gaming, who will now henceforth, in the capacities in which Quiet serves as substitute K-Laugh, as Protege K-Laugh, or K-Laugh Light. Either way, pretty good. Also, Michael Caine as the voice of Kit, the car from Knight Rider, would be exceptional. Rob, this is another version that someone did for us.
Clip of the day. Clip of the day. Clip of the day. Clip of the day. Here it is. It's the clip of the day.
That was from Kajito. So, all right, we're gonna go with K-Laugh Light. Just rolls right off the top. Okay. Our Billy Thundergun Award goes to
Billy Thundergun, Teammate of the Match Award.
It goes to Look It's Maiko. Listen, Look It's Maiko is usually not Billy Thundergun Award eligible, and man, Look It's Maiko is on vacation, dealing with one of the kids having 104-degree temperature. It's having to run over to Animal Kingdom and be like, hey, can you help me out? I'm very happy that Look It's Maiko is still able to enjoy as much of the vacation as possible. But, man, we need to give Mike some love. So, all right, what are your takeaways that were pretty okay, chat? What is something you learned from today's show? And then we are going to send you over to Kate Zaid, who is going to be streaming right now and just chatting. Kate has an Etsy shop where you can get some really cool Stardew Valley style shirts and trinkets, if you will. Kate likes to chat, stream IRL, and more, interacting with the chat. So come say hi. Please say good morning from GMS, if you would be so kind as to do that for us. Takeaway from Quiet. My takeaway is that Mike didn't realize how big of an area Orlando is. And someday, Mike will be able to get over and touch your stang. So, Keith Anthony's takeaway was Sports.Gaming is a doctor and also eats cashews for breakfast. Also, Keith is going on Keith's very first clay pigeon shooting this weekend. Have fun doing that. Brendan goes, my takeaway is YeeCon 2022. Yeah, Chris had, I think, a birthday celebration and was part of YeeCon. Saying earlier, YeeCon last year was Kate flying out to visit and a bunch of our California friends meeting up. So, there you go. My takeaway that's pretty okay is Eater. Eater was a robot that had a chainsaw built into it. And there was no confirmation whether or not Eater, the robot, if it ate humans or not. It was unclear, which I think if I'm having an eating robot, I would like it to be clear. Also, Eater stood for Energetically Autonomous Tactical Robot. And the fact that energetically was in its name cracked me up. I loved it. Chris and me, have a great day. Everyone else who was in chat, I hope you have a great day. We never even welcomed in the Final Hour crew.
Hello, FHC.
So I hope you have as good of a Tuesday as you can. We'll be back tomorrow as we are Monday through Friday, 6 to 9 a.m. Pacific time on Facebook Gaming, Twitch, YouTube, Twitter, and at gamingmorningshow.tv. Have a great day.